for the Governors, the reigning 7-time. Sophomore-dominated team, and as far as the numbers are concerned, and they're also quite small, so the deck will be stacked against the Tigers tonight, but they'll come ready to play. We'll have a conversation with head coach Drew Strand about the Tigers prospects tonight, and of course, we'll hear from Steve Steele from the Governor's standpoint as well. Lots to talk about in our pregame show. By the way, this game broadcast brought to you within the game as well by Central Dakota Eye Care and Virotech, the South Dakota Attorney General's office, also Comtech, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, who reminds all of those on the road, no matter what the reason, no matter how far you're going, remember to buckle up every trip, every time from the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety. Within the broadcast, this game also brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling, Wealth Partners, Ameriprise Financial, Family Dental Offices of Pierre and Gettysburg, by Hermanson Endodontics in the post game, and by Cowboy Country Stores. And tune in for the Gales Gas Service scoreboard throughout. At the end of each of our quarters, we'll give you the scoreboard from Gales Gas Service in Pierre. And after a 3-minute timeout, we'll open with our Bank West pregame show, talking with the coaches in a little bit. We'll take a look around the state of South Dakota, Class 11 AA football in particular, scores, schedules, the action that's going on tonight, and we'll look at some regional action, among other things, coming up too. Starting lineups and more on the way. 3 minutes from now, your Bank West pregame show as we bring you Pierre Governor football, their home opener on your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports, from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app from the App Store or Google Play. It takes only a moment, so you'll have it in time for this game. See live and archive video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota High School Sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play.
Thank you. For 55 years, Beck Motor Company is celebrating our 55th anniversary, and it's all thanks to you, our incredible customers. Join us on September 12th from 4:30 to 9 p.m. for a special event filled with delicious food, percussion drumline, face painting, live music from KC Hughes, also Homestretch Band, Bounce House for the kids, and Street Master Car Club on display. It's our way of saying thanks for your support and loyalty. Come be a part of the festivities at Beck Motor Company and help us celebrate 55 years of serving you.
Dakota Storm Roofing is a locally owned roofing company in Pierre, specializing in both residential and commercial roofing services. They can handle your shadow roofing and flat roof needs, construction, plus all types of roof repairs. They can handle the finishing touches, adding fascia, soffit, and gutters too. No job is too big or too small. For a free estimate, call Dakota Storm Roofing at 280-9794. Go to dakotastormroofing.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram.
Superior Concrete is proud to sponsor the Governors this season and just as proud to offer the finest concrete solutions available for commercial and residential applications, as well as foundation and flat work. The bottom line, if you need anything done with concrete, we can do it. Superior Concrete. Give us a call today for an estimate or more information. That's Superior Concrete. Find us on Facebook or call the office at 605-494-0102. That's 494-0102. Call today.
Do you love watching high school sports but find yourself wanting to be more involved? Live Ticket TV has the solution for you. They're looking for production managers to assist for this school year. Duties include the management of equipment as well as a basic technological understanding. But don't stress, paid training will be provided. Part-time wages starting at $20 an hour. Call 833-605-LIVE, extension 3. That's 833-605-5483, extension 3, and punch your ticket to joining one of the fastest growing companies in South Dakota.
Welcome back to Phil Trotter Stadium at Hollisford Field. Welcome back to the home opener for the Pierre Governors Friday night under the lights. Well, at least as soon as the sun goes down, the Governors taking on the Huron Tigers. In our Bank West pregame show, we'll open with a look around Class 11 AA, the state of football in South Dakota. And again, with the Governors on Saturday last weekend, opening with that win at Aberdeen Central, 20-14, a game that obviously was a pretty close game. Governors scored 3 straight touchdowns in the second period to take a 20-7 halftime lead, including scoring on the last play of the second quarter to go into the halftime break with that 13-point lead. They did need pretty much all of that as Aberdeen Central broke a scoreless second half by getting into the end zone one last time with a minute and a half to go, but the Governors recovered an onside kick to seal the win at 20-14. Pierre, along with Yankton, who beat Huron easily 60-0 last week. Mitchell, Spearfish, and Brookings all starting the season with victories, and maybe most impressively, or at least the biggest surprise, when Spearfish knocked off perennial power T Area 39-29 a week ago. So T Area, Aberdeen, Watertown, along with Huron, Sturgis, and also Douglas starting the season 0-1 in the class that has 11 teams overall. Of course, the top 8 at the end of 9 regular season games make the postseason field. Scheduled tonight in Class 11 AA, in addition to Huron playing here against the Governors in the capital city, a couple of big games, you might say. Watertown playing at Yankton tonight, and then Aberdeen Central is at T Area. The rest of the schedule, a pair of 1-0 teams, where Mitchell is playing at the Dyke House Stadium in Brookings against the Bobcats. Out west, it's Douglas at Sturgis, and Spearfish gets the 11 AAA opponent tonight when they go to Rapid City Central. That's the second game of the Rushmore Bowl that they have out there. First game in 11 AAA has Brandon Valley playing at Rapid City Stevens. In the AAA games also in Sioux Falls at the Wood, at Sioux Falls Roosevelt against Jefferson, and O'Gorman on their own field, McEnany Field, hosting state champion Sioux Falls Lincoln. Tomorrow, Sioux Falls Washington will go to Harrisburg. It's really a light schedule among the smaller schools in central South Dakota. Stanley County is up at Leola Frederick to battle the Titans. Justin Cowart has the call on that one on 1060 AM, 103.1 FM. And that'll be on the AM side. On Star 99 out of Mobridge, Mobridge Pollock Tigers go to Miller Highmore Herald. They'll play the Rustlers. And on KMLO, Harriet Selby area playing at second ranked in Class 9B, Faulkton area. That should be a pretty good ball game on KMLO. But with the schedule and all of the teams that are off tonight, we actually don't have a game to give on 94.5 KPLO. This evening, one area team in action tomorrow sends Chamberlain out to Rapid City to battle St. Thomas More. But as we look in Class 11 AA, I'll bring in Coach John Wayne Calta as he'll be outside giving us some analysis for tonight. And JW, I mean, the one thing about it, it's Governor football. It's back. It's home. And Governor fans, they circle these dates on the calendar when they get the home opener and they get to see their team in action once again. A lot of excitement going to be here tonight, and I know this will be your chance to see this team as well. The excitement is here, and you can feel it. You can almost cut it with a knife sometimes.
Yeah, it's been just a great week, and actually a great couple weeks, and just the school and all the kids walking around, and what's obviously going to be a much different team than what we've seen the last couple of years personnel-wise. We're not expecting it to be different in terms of the success that we've had and as Governors go on, but it's just going to be a great night to see what this Pierre team's all about and the identity of what those new key roles are going to be like, and where are we going to be favoring? Are we going to be pass heavy today? Tonight we're going to be run heavy tonight, and knowing Coach Steve Steele will probably be a lot of bold. So
we'll see what happens, and I think the MO for the season is going to be growth, I believe, and we just see how this team grows from game number 1 to game 9 at the end of the regular season. I think after one game, the jury's still out. Will this team be the team to beat when the postseason rolls around in their quest for 8? Or, are they going to have to kind of come from the middle of the ranks and rise to the top if they want to reach their ultimate goals?
Yeah, there's one thing our coaching staff does well is it's they key in on obviously the players and the development of those kids, but it's just also being able to read those other teams that they're playing on a night-to-night basis and putting themselves in great position to score touchdowns and obviously win. So, I still see the same thing. I think, again, tonight's going to be just one of those nights where I think we're going to try to get a lot of guys the ball. I think we're going to try to work some different things. And, again, just let Caleb Lonsberry do what he needs to do. And defense, I think, is just going to be the defense that we've seen from the past and just be just tough.
Certainly looking forward to it. The home opener for the Governors. They'll take on the Huron Tigers, and we'll talk with both head coaches after a 3-minute timeout, beginning with Steve Steele, the Governor head coach. It'll be our Central Dakota Eye Care Keys to Success next. And you're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Your official voice of the Govs is River 92.7, DRGnews.com, and the DRG News app.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building. The garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
This is Coach Scott Nye from your Pierre Governors and the team at Ranky Gray Wealth Management, where we focus on coaching something just as important, your finances. Everyone needs guidance through life's key financial decisions and challenges, not to mention the opportunity to feel confident that their retirement strategy will help them pursue the lifestyle they've dreamed about. As you're looking for the right team to assist you, we're right up the street and ready to provide you the help that can make all the difference. Contact our Pierre office today by visiting rankygray.com.
If you want a job where your work matters, you belong at Avera. Here, we've invested in our workforce because every Avera team member drives our health ministry forward, making a difference in lives and communities every day. We offer competitive pay, great health insurance, and even career opportunities. We're putting people first, including you. Search for local job openings and apply at avera.org/careers.
Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre is here for you. When you're looking for a new vehicle, they make it easy. All available vehicle information so you can spend less time researching and more time enjoying your purchase. Shop their extensive inventory from home at CapitalCityFordToyota.com or stop in to Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota at 518 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Count on them for your service needs with convenient scheduling and in-stock parts. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre, 605-224-7378.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
Do you dream of a custom home built within your budget and done on time? Kruger Contracting can make that dream a reality. They're a trusted home builder since 2003, and they're going to be upfront and open about cost and transparent about where your money is going when it comes to your new home. Their skilled crew will manage construction of your new home from start to finish. They're located in Pierre and can build your home in Pierre, Fort Pierre, or the surrounding area. Call 605-222-2523. Visit KrugerContracting.com or find Kruger Contracting on Facebook.
victory at Aberdeen Central, Coach, a 20-14 win. And I think a lot of Pierre fans think that maybe the Governor survived a scare, if you want to look at it that way. I kind of felt like the way your defense was playing, you were in control pretty much the whole way, especially in that second half when you had a 20-7 lead at halftime.
Yeah, I think our defense shined, and they definitely gave us that comfort level that we didn't feel the pressure that we had to score every drive, which was good, But again, just a little bit different position, first game of the year, and, you're definitely sweating there at the end when you got to deal with an onside kick. You just never know what can happen with that. So it was a tense ending, but, at the end of the day, it's a win, and better to learn lessons in wins than in losses. Still kind of a feeling out process, I think, for the guys that were on the field, especially those that are filling shoes from a year ago. And all in all, I think, from those guys that finished the game, a lot of people passed with flying colors. Yeah, there was a lot of good things, a lot of people that really stepped up and did well. Some we started the game with, some we did not start the game with, and they had to step into some roles and did a great job. But very overall, we're pleased with where we're at right now, I guess. And, obviously there's a long road ahead and we've got to continually improve, but we feel really good with where we're at. And that Aberdeen's a good opponent. It looks like a team that, maybe was the expected, let's call them the second tier of 11 AA, but they're going to cause some problems. And, but again, going into week number 2, you've got a pretty good idea of what you need to work on and where you need to get better here as you take on the Huron Tigers. Yeah, and a lot of it is just mental. Most of our mistakes were mental mistakes, which are not uncommon when you've got a lot of first-year starters. But, yeah, it'll be an interesting way to see how AA plays out. I think there were some surprises week 1, and, I think Aberdeen is a team that could maybe surprise some teams down the road. So it's the fun of high school football is you just don't know. One surprise is basically a big score in the Yankton and Huron game, 60-0. Not a surprise who won that game, I would say. But this Huron team, as we prepare for week 2, it turns out to be a very young team and a team that's just going to, they've got a lot of growing to do, but a tough way to start for Yankton, with Yankton, and now they've got Pierre. And what do you know about Huron here? Yeah, they're a very young team, and I think they're a very small team. They don't have a lot of size up front, and that's tough. That's tough for them to deal with. Most of the touchdowns last week were on big plays, but they're a team. They're scrappy. They're very creative. They've got a pretty unorthodox defense, assuming we see what we saw on film that you'll see tonight, with only 2 down linemen. So it's something that really you won't see other than watching them play. That presents some challenges in itself, but you got to give a lot of credit to their guys over there trying to come up with something to minimize what they don't have, in the size and experience, and try to make it so that it doesn't matter as much. The one thing you like about teams like this, and talking with Coach Strand, as I have already, but it's a team that it sounds like they just, no matter what the score is, they're not quitting, and they're ready to make plays and to do whatever they can in a positive way every time the ball is snapped. Yeah, and you can see that in the film, no matter what happened. Bad things happened to them, during that last game, and they found ways to continue to play hard. And that was never the issue with the score. Some of it is Yankton's a really good football team, and some of it is just they didn't quite have the size to match up with certain things that Yankton did. So, it's a team that it was a challenging game, but we know they'll be better this week. Once again, in the line of scrimmage where things are won and lost all the time, but I think if you feel like you take care of business, good things are going to happen. Is that keys to success today? Yeah. Keys to success is just a growth game up front. With Ty going down last week and being out this week, we're going to have some new faces. We kind of played a merry-go-round through the rest of the game after he went down. So they've kind of had a week together now under their belt. So hopefully we can get a little bit more camaraderie there and last more than 4 plays before we got to shake it up. Running game was you used the run to set up the pass quite well. Are you looking for more yards and more average, better average this time around, perhaps? Yeah, hopefully we can find a way to get some more holes open. We got them to load the box, which was good. It did open up our passing game, but we've got to find ways to actually run the ball with a little bit more success. And we can't have our longest run be an 8-yard gain. All right, Coach, looking forward to it. Good luck. Thank you.
Steve Steele, the Governor, head coach, and coach's comments and keys to success in our broadcast are sponsored by Central Dakota Eye Care, and Pierce will step aside, hear from Central Dakota Eye Care, and then we speak with Drew Strand, the head coach of the Huron Tigers, as our keys to success continue. This is Governor Football.
The key to success starts with vision. Hi, this is Dr. Matthew Blazek of Central Dakota Eye Care. Regular, yearly comprehensive eye exams are key in finding eye problems before symptoms appear. Call us today at 224-6128 and schedule an appointment. New patients are always welcome. The staff at Central Dakota Eye Care is proud of our area youth and support their high school activities. Best of luck in the game. Central Dakota Eye Care, 640 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Better vision for a great life.
Our keys to success will continue. We're talking with Drew Strand, the head coach of the Huron Tigers. And Coach, last week to start the season off, I know there's not a lot that can be said about the final result. You faced a Yankton team that's very experienced. Looks like that you're kind of in a rebuilding year now with a lot of youth, even though you've got some senior leaders on this team. But what did you take away from that first loss? I won't even mention the score, but that first week's game against Yankton.
Yep. I mean, we're just kind of going out, and we have a very young line here with 2 juniors and the rest of them being sophomores. So just trying to get those guys to figure out how to compete, especially going into a team against Yankton last week of, that caliber of play, and just trying to get them guys going. We do have a returning senior quarterback that did a pretty good job and stuck with it no matter what happened. And even though he had to move around in the pocket and move around. So I thought the guys did a fantastic job of just continuing on playing no matter what the scoreboard said last week.
It's quite a measuring stick to start with Yankton and then now coming in to face Pierre. But what positives did you take from last week that you can build upon for this week's game?
I thought our guys went to the right spots on our execution. We just have to find ways to get a little more physical and faster and when we get to those spots. The guys showed a lot of hope in our pass protection, things like that. So, as long as we can continue to grow and execute those things, I think we'll be good.
And the youth that you have, I think, on your offensive line also is, you're not very big, I think, comparatively on the line either.
Nope, those guys are just sophomores coming in, so they're still going to grow here the next couple of years. And defensive side of the ball, we try to keep a lot of those sophomore linemen off for right now until we kind of get our feet under us on the offensive side. So we've done a pretty good job of that. I know we're undersized going against Yankton on defense, and, we're just got to find ways to move our guys around.
All right, facing Pierre now this week, and it is a new-look Pierre Governor team for the most part, but what have you seen so far and in preparation for this one? What can you get done and game plan, for more positives going forward here?
Yep, going to be another big team for our guys. I think our guys are a little more settled in, but just looking at the Pierre team, they're big up front, just like they have been every year, and then they still have some skill guys there, especially that number 12 at tight end. We'll have to find ways to move around him, and defensively, they're going to kind of play us big on big, and, unfortunately, their bigs are a little bit bigger, so we'll have to find ways to kind of move around those guys and hopefully get some of our skill guys, more into the game and one-on-one matchups if we can.
I think you saw, if you obviously watched the Aberdeen game last week, a 20-14 Pierre win, probably saw a team from Pierre that was really good on the defensive side, but certainly not the offensive juggernaut you've seen the last couple of years. What are you thinking in terms of facing this defense with that senior leadership that you have on offense?
Yep, defense is really going to be tough on their end of it. So we just got to find ways to work one-on-ones. Hopefully we have our 2 senior running backs back this week. I know they were out with Landon Holst and Thackeray Hansen, so we'll have one of those guys back this week that'll add another dimension in the backfield. And then we also have a sophomore wide receiver that sat out last week, Anderson Porsche, who's 6'5", 195, so adding him next to a Blake Elwine, who's 6'9", will definitely help our offensive out a lot. So, hopefully we can get those guys and move those guys around to get one-on-one matches.
And that makes me think of Colton McNeil, your quarterback. He does like to throw the football and is pretty good at slinging the rock, isn't he?
Yep, he's pretty good. I know last week he had 1 pick, but that was kind of at the end of the game, just trying to throw something up to make something happen there, So from our standpoint of it, he has 0 picks, but stats-wise he's got 1. But he's done a fantastic job, and he looks a lot more comfortable this year, and he's able to make some checks out of our run plays and be able to throw it if he wants to.
All right. Any other keys to success in this one here against Pierre?
Just continue to get better. Our guys got to compete, and I think if they can step up toe-to-toe and just kind of compete, hopefully we can find ourselves in a chance to have opportunities throughout the game.
All right. Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck against the Govs and the rest of the season, all right?
Thanks.
And our thanks to Drew Strand for his time and giving us his keys to success. And this one brought to you by the folks at Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. Governors and Huron coming up. The starting lineups on the field have begun. Let's run into those. These are your Envirotech starting lineups for the visiting Huron Tigers. Colton McNeil is a senior quarterback, his third year in running this offense as at the QB position. Jonathan Peterson, they'll call him Bubba. We'll call him Bubba for most of the night. He's a senior 180-pound running back out of the backfield. Riley Weingar is a junior wide receiver. Logan Leyendecker and Blake Elwine, actually Leyendecker, a senior. Elwine is a junior in the wide receiving core. You know Blake Elwine's name is a standout basketball player. He runs at 6'9" out wide, so he'll be tough to handle at times. On the line, Charlie Martin's a junior 175-pounder at the center spot. Again, not a lot of size. Jackson Greenfield is 235 and a sophomore at the left guard. Regan Dirksen, a 240-pound sophomore right guard. Nolan Stolley is a junior left tackle at 180. Elliot Hartman, 180 and a sophomore on the right side. The tight end is Colby Hofer, a senior at 190. On the defensive side for the Tigers, nose tackle is John Tu, a senior at 165. Next to him are Charlie Martin and Nolan Stolley, the defensive ends, who will start both ways. Linebackers include Oakley Anderson, a 170-pound junior, and Copper Bischoff, a sophomore at 175. Colby Hofer and Bubba Peterson also linebackers for the Tigers. The backfield has Sean Messamore starting at one cornerback, a junior at 145. Logan Leyendecker also in at a corner. Mason Juergens starts at a strong safety, a junior at 185, and Riley Weingar is the free safety for the Huron Tigers. They're head coached by Drew Strand, assisted among others by Clayton Wallstrom, a former Stanley County wrestling coach, and by Tanner Sporer, who was a standout athlete not too long ago for the Gettysburg and Potter County Battlers. Those are the starting lineups for the Huron Tigers. They're brought to you by Envirotech. The Governors have been announced as well, but we're going to take a pause. We'll give you the Governor starters when we come back. After this 2-minute timeout, the Envirotech starting lineups continue. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on River 92.7, your official home of the Governors, and drgnews.com.
Envirotech makes life a little bit simpler. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what is handed to you, Envirotech has you covered. One call is all it takes to have easy setup, easy pickup, and easy payment. Call Envirotech at 224-4804 or use their website to pay your bill online at envirotechwaste.com. Use the mobile app Waste Connect. Check their website or receive a robocall for collection schedule due to weather or holidays. Envirotech has you covered.
Century Business Products is a proud supporter of South Dakota High School athletics and proud to provide the most reliable Kyocera copiers and printers to schools and businesses in the area, all backed by their 5-time nationally awarded Kyocera servicing team. Are you looking to control color cost? Looking to reduce printers? Are you looking for more efficient ways to scan documents? Or maybe you'd like to become more paperless? Look no further than Century Business Products. Call 800-529-1950 and see how they're powering business technology.
At American Family Insurance, we help protect what you've achieved so you can fearlessly go after your dreams. For auto, home, business, and life, contact us today. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance, Life Mutual, Standard of Ohio and Wisconsin Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
Call the Brittany Shufflebine Agency, LLC, with offices in Pierre, Oneida, and Gettysburg. Thank you. For 55 years, Beck Motor Company is celebrating our 55th anniversary, and it's all thanks to you, our incredible customers. Join us on September 12th from 4:30 to 9 p.m. for a special event filled with delicious food, percussion drumline, face painting, live music from KC Hughes, also a homestretch band, bounce house for the kids, and Street Master Car Club on display. It's our way of saying thanks for your support and loyalty. Come be a part of the festivities at Beck Motor Company and help us celebrate 55 years of serving you.
Our national anthem being played very well by the Pierre Pep Band here at Phil Troutner Stadium in Hollister Field. Welcome back. We'll continue with our Envirotech starting lineups as they've got the enactment of the coin toss beforehand coming up here on Hollister Field. Let's give you the Governor's starting lineups. Once again, sponsored by Envirotech. Caleb Lounsbury will make his second varsity start. The junior at 170 pounds. Behind him in the backfield, Trevor Rounds is the featured back, a senior at 185. Wideouts are George Stalley, the senior at 175, and Carter Shufflebine, a 155-pound sophomore. Cooper Terwilliger, the one to watch, the sophomore at 225 out of the tight end spot. 10 catches for 130 yards or so a week ago, and he caught the only touchdown pass from Caleb Lounsbury as well in a beautiful corner route. Elijah Bucci, the senior at 225, is the other tight end. We should see Aiden Beam, a 190-pound junior, from time to time as well. The tackle tonight is Tucker Ott. He'll play in place of Ty Michael, who was injured with a sprained ankle a week ago. Ott is a junior at 200 pounds. The guards are Baxter Shrimp, a senior, 265. Jacob Mikkinen, 255-pound senior. Also Max Bogenhagen on the nub guard spot. He'll take over where Michael was a week ago, the junior at 235. The center is Zayden Rounds, a 260-pound senior. Defensively, Johnny Sharon starts in place of Ty Michael. On the defensive side of the football at the nose tackle, the sophomore at 245 pounds. The tackles are E.J. Bucci and Jacob Mikkinen. The linebackers include Cooper Terwilliger as well as Lincoln Schoenhardt, 160-pound junior. Max Hunsley, a senior, at 175, and Coulter Babcock, who had an outstanding game, was in fact our player of the game when the postgame rolled around. A couple of interceptions and a key quarterback sack, a senior at 220 pounds. The defensive backfield includes Carson Stoser and Porter Hunsley at the corner spots. Hunsley plays in place of George Stalley, who was the starting corner a week ago. Stalley had a bum ankle from time to time as well, but he's concentrating mostly on offense tonight. Stoser is senior, Hunsley just a freshman. Kellen Hansen, the senior, at the strong safety, and Hudson Schaefer, the junior, is the free safety. The starting lineups from Envirotech in Pierre. The other starting lineup is the naming of tonight's game officials, the law on the field, and they are Darren Lorenz, the referee in the white hat, along with Spencer Aberle, C.J. Huber, Jordan Mensch, and Dustin Pitts. Thanks to those guys for doing what is oftentimes a thankless job in officiating high school sports. Darren Lorenz, Spencer Aberle, C.J. Huber, Jordan Mensch, and Dustin Pitts are game officials, the law on the field. Let's hear from the Attorney General's office, and we're kicking it off in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Every day, you share personal information about yourself with others. You may write a check, charge fuel, rent a car, mail your tax return, schedule a doctor's appointment, or post something on social media. Each transaction may share some sort of personal information, such as bank or credit card account numbers, social security numbers, name, address, or phone number. There are unscrupulous individuals, identity thieves, targeting these routine transactions, trying to gain your information to commit fraud. If you think someone has stolen your identity, contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986.
Consumer Protection with the opening, or with the game officials, but the opening kick sponsored by Comtech, and a big return by Carson Stoser, who took the kickoff at the Governor 10-yard line from left to right, coming to the near sideline, was untouched until he got past the 50-yard line and then run out of bounds by the Tigers on the other end of the ball. As Pierre will start in Huron territory, the Comtech opening kick, and the Governors are in business right away. And Coach John called real quickly, Huron susceptible to the big play. We saw that in that Yankton game a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, how do you cover an offense like the Pierre Governors right now when you got Terwilliger and you've got Bucci and you've got, Stalley as a wide receiver? It's just, I mean, again, you kind of pick your poison as far as who you're going to cover and where you're going to go. But fortunately for us, we're going to be able to capitalize on one of those other guys.
First call is on the ground, a handoff to Trevor Rounds. He'll go 2 yards straight up the middle of the 43-yard line of the Tigers. Oakley Anderson, a linebacker, getting him down with a good low tackle. Good fundamental effort there. As Caleb Lounsbury is out in the pistol. The Governors are in black on black tonight. Green helmets, white numbers, black jerseys, black pants, as Rounds tries to spin away from tacklers on the next effort here, and he's going nowhere, as this is Cooper Bischoff. As Rounds can only get back to the line of scrimmage, so the Governors trying to get some things done on the ground, and that was a bit of a difficulty in Aberdeen a week ago. Rounds will check out. An extra receiver for 3rd and 8, and Lincoln Dilgis will check in. He'll go slot to the middle slot to the far side of the field. Also got Carter Shufflebine out that way. Cooper Terwilliger, watch him. He's flanked near side to the short side of the field. Tigers facing him up with at least 2 defenders. And Lounsbury on 3rd and 8, just underway. He's going to take the snap straight up the gut. He'll get to the 40-yard line, but then hit hard. Falls ahead to the 39, but they'll whistle him down at the 40. And the Governors right now in a 3-and-out situation, but there will be no out. They'll go for it on 4th down after a pickup of 3. So 5 yards on 3 carries. Trevor Rounds is back in, but it's 4th and 5 for the Governors on the opening possession of the night. Lounsbury looking to throw for the first time. Over the middle? No, he'll go left side, and it's Cooper Terwilliger thrown a little bit behind him. But right there is Bubba Peterson to stick him, and had Terwilliger hauled that one in, he'd have gone nowhere. It would have been short of a first down anyway. So a great job by the Tiger defense to stand up the Governors, who will turn it over on downs on their opening possession. And again, let's call it feeling out. John called as the Governors are kind of just trying to learn what they have, and we'll make adjustments as they go along.
Yeah, and that's something Steve, does really well. Coach Steele does really well. And there's games he's come out and he's going downfield 80 yards. There's other games where he's, trying to establish run a little bit. And that's what we're seeing tonight.
Colton McNeil running for his life on first down as Huron will try to throw the football. McNeil can throw the football. He's only 5'9", 165 pounds, but he can get away, and he showed some escapability here on the first play of the night for the Tigers.
We get caught up so much in talking about the Terwilligers of the world and, obviously the quarterbacks and running backs. But, a big key to the game tonight is going to be that front five. And, we're going to see on their defense side, they're going to probably bring 6 guys most of the time. It's, again, can we handle that extra guy? What are we going to do with him? And, obviously they found a way to stop us that first drive.
2nd and 10, Mason Juergens in motion. Quick hitter out to the near side. And Juergens has the grab at the 45-yard line. Terwilliger with the push out of bounds to the Governor bench. And McNeil with his first completion. Mason Juergens with the catch. Juergens is a backup quarterback, among other things. And he's one of the starting defensive backfield players as well for Huron. Now 3rd and 5 for the Tigers. They're in road white, orange numbers, black pants, black helmets with the orange logos, heading right to left into the sun here at Hollister Field. And another quick pass that is caught, and it should be good enough for a first down. Kellen Hansen will run the receiver out of bounds. Blake Elwine will be given credit for a 5-yard gain that has him to the 50-yard line. I really thought he caught that at the Pier 49 and then was pushed back, but he gets a first down anyway. And 2 for 3 so far in the opening drive for Colton McNeil and the Huron Tigers, who are the first to collect the first down in this one. Option pitch here, first running play, Bubba Peterson, and a flag is thrown by 2 different receivers as we may have a block in the back trying to spring Peterson around to the edge. He does get across the 50 to the Governor 47, but the officials are keeping this one at the 50, and they expect to move it back. This could be a big penalty for Huron because the flags are at least 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. One of them 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and they'll mark it back from there.
Yeah, I think Bucci was just coming upfield, and obviously their blocker just couldn't handle the speed at that point in time. I thought he kind of engaged or stayed engaged with the whole time, but must have slipped off and gave him a little shove in the back to try to create a little opening.
Well, they marked that 10 yards from the line of scrimmage instead of the spot of the foul. So unless I'm missing something there, it's 1st and 20 otherwise. Here comes Elwine in motion, passing down on first down, but E.J. Bucci gets past the blocker and then will meet up with Colton McNeil and bring him down all the way back to the 30-yard line. A loss of 10 on a holding penalty, and now a loss of 10 more on the first sack of the quarterback tonight by the Governor defense.
Yeah, Bucci's going to be a problem tonight. I mean, I kind of like how they made their call plays early on, just quick little 1-2 second passes and outs, and probably looking for something a little bit deeper when they get him to soften up a little bit or actually tighten up a little bit. But again, if they hold that ball for more than 3-4 seconds, I think he's going to create some havoc back there.
McNeil with a quick fire here, and he had Bucci staring him down, breathing down his neck once again. Pass is thrown behind Mason Juergens on 2nd down and 30. And it'll be 3rd and 30 this time. Ball in the far hash marks of the Tigers, who got a first down pickup but then a penalty and a sack to send them back to the east side of the field, which is their own side. They'll send 3 wide to the left. Single wide out is Elwine to the far right side. They'll go slant to Juergens, and again, a quick fire here, but Juergens was just turning his head around, and McNeil had already unloaded. And the Governor defense was coming quickly again. Now the Tigers will have to punt.
Yeah, the one guy that actually probably helped out most in that play was Babcock in the middle. I mean, he actually kind of blocked that alley that the quarterback had to throw. And so, I mean, he kind of made him, actually forced him to throw behind him a little bit and caused a little bit of mistiming there.
And mistiming, it just seems like McNeil, he's, I'm sure last week against Yankton, he was used to having to throw quickly. I'm guessing that might be the case again tonight coming up. Here's Colby Hofer. Nice punt. Good hang time. Taken by George Stalley at his own 37-yard line. Slips a tackle at the 40, to the 50, far side to the 40, to the 30. Looking for one more block. It's a flag at the 30, but Stalley inside the 10, all the way down to about the 6, maybe the 7-yard line. A great run back by George Stalley, but we look back at the Huron 30-yard line, and I think the Governors will be penalized with a block to help Stalley get almost all the way in what could have been about a 63-yard punt return. As it is, a great return nonetheless, and Stalley made a slippery move back at the Pierre 40. Colby Hofer, the punter, ended up making the final stop, but the Governors will be penalized from the 30-yard line, and they will have it 1st and 10 on their second possession at their own, or I should say at the Huron 40. Second possession in a row for the Governors. It'll start inside of Tiger territory, but they went 4 and out, losing the possession on downs on their first possession. 3 running plays and an errant pass on 4th down. We'll see if the Governors try throwing the football instead early in this sequence. More motion, more resetting of the formation. Stalley wide to the near side, and Coach Steele, sensing some disarray, needs a timeout. So disarray for sure, and a little bit of a surprise and an early timeout here called by the Governors. Timeouts on the field and in our broadcast are brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. Feel free to grab an early Coke in our broadcast. We'll be back in 30 seconds. We'll hear from Comtech. They sponsored the opening kick in tonight's matchup here. Pierre and Huron scoreless with 8:22 to go in the first quarter on River 92.7.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
When you're thinking of a new or used car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV...
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
The first quarter of play. Brian Oakland with the play-by-play. John called to outside, and a pistol snap to Caleb Lounsbury is through his hands. He will retreat back to the 50-yard line and fall on the football there. A fumble, not necessarily a quarterback sack, but a loss of 10 yards on the play anyway, and it'll be 2nd down and 20. And Governor fans who are excited to see their team in their home opener tonight are going to have to be a little bit patient if they want to see good things happen. 2nd and 20, empty backfield, quick fire, and Lounsbury looking for Carter Shufflebein on the far side of the field. And here's the question, John Calda. When the sun is the way it is in the West, is it tougher on receivers looking back into the sun or on maybe quarterbacks looking into the sun like Huron would be right now?
Yeah, I do. I think it's receiver. I mean, you never know where that ball's coming up, and especially with some elevation with it. I mean, it seems to find the sun. It's no different than outfielder in baseball. It just always seems to catch that sun somehow.
Or a first baseman taking an infield throw, which is more similar here. Lounsbury has to duck away from a defender. He will run, but he'll get hit hard at the line of scrimmage. And boy, are the Huron Tigers a fired up bunch right now. I think it was 57. No, it might be Marcus Anderson, a 250-pound senior, coming in to lay the final blow. But I don't know, maybe 52, Charlie Martin. Lounsbury gets back to the 50, and here the Governors go 3 and out. And there isn't much going well right now for the Governors here in their home opener. Big punt, however, and this one lands at the 10-yard line. The Tigers will let it go. Pierre will down it close to the 5, maybe the 6-yard line. So field position changes dramatically with this nice punt by George Stalley, and the Tigers will have it in their second offensive possession deep in their own territory. Let's call it 1st and 10 from the 6-yard line. 7:03 to play. Anybody's ball game so far. In fact, they'll put it at the 7-yard line here for Huron. We'll see what the Tigers do once again, coming into the sun, playing east to west, right to left. There's one thing I noticed about the conditions tonight when I'll talk about this in a moment. Here's McNeil, quick first down fire, looking for Elwine, the tallest guy on the field. He's got it out to the 40-yard line. Pretty good coverage by Porter Hunsley, the freshman, but Elwine just caught the pass right over the top of Hunsley, out to the 42, a gain of 35 yards from McNeil to Elwine.
Yeah, there's two things that Huron's going to probably key on tonight, and it's going to be misdirection. You know, we're looking at probably a lot of option out of them from their run game, and it's going to be big plays. And again, he's got a little bit of height on Hunsley there. Had great coverage, I thought, but just, again, got to turn, look for that ball, and do the best that you can and try to knock it down.
Elwine made a play from the right side of the field. Now he's flanked near side. As the ball going from the far hash mark. Here's Bubba Peterson around right guard, and a pretty good surge from the 37, or from the 42 rather, across the 45 to the 46, and a pickup of 4. The one thing I noticed when we had our national anthem tonight and we're all facing the flag, I couldn't find the flag. I thought it was going to be raised, but it's up there at the top. It's just laying straight down. It's not moving at all, and it's literally behind the flagpole. We can barely see it from our vantage point. That's how still and beautiful of a night of football we have here in the capital city. 2nd down and 6 now for the Tigers. Quick fire outside, far side, and they've got a first down pickup with the advancement into Governor territory. This is Juergens. And McNeil in this passing offense for the Tigers are raising some eyebrows. They've got it to the Governor 40-yard line and a pickup of 14 yards. First down, Huron.
Yeah, catching a little bit of time back there. Didn't have, obviously Buchan staring him in the face like he did that first or the second series. And again, it's just kind of amazing what he can do.
I think the Tigers know they've got to get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback quickly. Here's another quick fire, but this one caught. Nice receive. It will be an incomplete pass, and that actually saves a loss on the play. Riley Weingar running out in motion on a flat pattern, but it hits the hand and then bounces down to the turf. And again, that saves 4 or 5 yards in what would have been a loss. Already 8 pass attempts with 5 completions. 4 completions by Colton McNeil. Big 35-yarder got them out of the shadow of their own goalpost here on this, their second possession of the night. From the Governor 40, 2nd and 10, 5:49 to go in the first quarter. McNeil throwing long again, looking and overthrowing. I was assuming that to be Elwine, but he's on the near side, so we'll see the number here of the intended receiver. Orange numbers from a long ways away. This is Anderson Porish, number 11, a 6'5 sophomore. Porter Hunsley, once again, pretty good in coverage, and Hunsley's been playing great. A young player, but Coach Steve Steele has said a lot of good things off the mic about Porter Hunsley, and even on the mic. He came in and played for George Stalley last week defensively and did a great job. Now 3rd and 10. McNeil over the middle and almost picked off right over the top of Coulter Babcock, but the throw a little bit short all the way down to the Governor 20-yard line, where the intended receiver just couldn't quite reach it. And it looks to be Juergens again. 5:37 left in the first quarter, and now it's 4th down for the Tigers.
It looks like maybe Huron's changed up their offense just a little bit. They got number 74, the Dirksen on Bucci right now. Seems to kind of hold them in at bay. Be interesting to watch that matchup as the night goes on and see what Bucci can get figured out to get back to the quarterback.
Tigers going to take a timeout here at Coca-Cola. Timeout on the field. It's 4th and 10 from the Pierre 40-yard line. 5:37 to go. We're in the first quarter. Let's break for 30 seconds. We're back with more Pierre Governor football.
Smart grocery shop.
Think of
Welcome
us.
back to the
We make all
Milwaukee
sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
When you're in the need.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
To the official home of Pierre Governor football.
Driven by the Office of Highway Safety, River 92.7, KGFX FM, and K296FI Pierre. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
4th down and 10 as Huron looks to be ready to go for it here on the Governor 40-yard line. There is a backfield member. That's Bubba Peterson. He'll be relegated to blocking. McNeil throws off of his back foot and cannot reach Anderson Porish, who had gone on a long route inside the 20-yard line as Huron made a big play. They picked up another first down, but the Governors will stop them on 4 and out and still have good field position. Tell you, when they had the Tigers down to the 7-yard line when that drive started, the Govs really had the field position advantage, but a big pass got the Tigers out once again from their own red zone. And Pierre will just have to, in fact, start their first drive on their own side of the 50-yard line here. It's the 3rd possession of the night. No score as of yet. Here comes Stalley. He'll take a direct snap from left to right in motion. He wanted to turn the corner, but he cut back into the middle of the field toward the far hash mark. Has positive yardage here, and that's one thing that the Governors will try to do quite a bit throughout the season. Get the ball into the hands of maybe one of their fastest players in wideout, George Stalley. Pick up a 5, far hash mark as the Governors head from left to right. 2nd and 5 at the 45-yard line. Rounds in the backfield. It'll be an option. Lounsbury going to keep it himself as he breaks through the line of scrimmage and gets dragged down by the shirt tails. Oakley Anderson in on the stop. Lounsbury ended up at the 50, but he was ruled down at the Governor 49, a yard short of the line to gain. But 3rd and 1, and the most negotiable yardage on 3rd down so far for the Govs in the early going here. 4.5 minutes left. Still no score. This Huron team that gave up 60 points to Yankton a week ago. As the Governors will give it into the hands of Trevor Rounds up the middle, and he'll bounce off a tackler and dive for 2 into Huron territory, but a flag was thrown by the far side line judge, and a lot of times that's going to mean maybe an illegal formation. In this case, on the part of the Governors. Check the call. Darren Lorenz, I believe it is, the referee in this case. Yep. Well, legal procedure, but illegal formation. John called it. Probably somebody just covered up or not covered up on that line of scrimmage on that far side.
Yeah, and it's a fine line sometimes. You know, every sideline judge seems to kind of have its own little discrepancy on what's covered up and what's not covered up. And I didn't see it, but I also wasn't looking for it either. I was watching their outside backer basically blitzing, and so I thought maybe it was a false start or something on our end. But
when they let the play go, a lot of times that means formation issues.
Yep.
3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 6. Another snap through the hands of Lounsbury. He picks it up on a hop, but the Tiger defense converges, and this will be a quarterback sack. Colby Hofer gets in there, and the Governors are pushed back to 4th and long again, and George Stalley will have to come on and punt for the 2nd time. That's the 2nd time we have seen a pistol snap go through the hands of Caleb Lounsbury, and I'll tell you what, a junior quarterback getting his first start at home, even though we're well into the first quarter, you're on your third possession, but I imagine there's still some butterflies there.
Oh, yeah.
Staley ranges to his left, then kicks. The punt will get a generous bounce into Huron territory inside the 30. It'll trickle out of bounds on the far side to the 27. A punt of about 35 yards from George Staley. No score, and it hasn't been easy, certainly, for the Pierre Governors so far against a Huron team that obviously the Governors figured to be heavily favored against, but Huron has worked awful hard this past week. Given how things went in the loss against Yankton a week ago, doesn't get any easier here with the Governors, and they've got T area on their schedule next week too. But they're looking pretty good. Let's see if they can make some plays on offense again. This first play will not happen, though. We've got a pre-snap penalty and a dead ball false start to mark the Tigers back 5 to make it 1st and 15. It'll be 1st and 15 from the 22. Once again, a couple of other intriguing games. Yankton at Watertown tonight. Watertown lost at Sioux Falls Jefferson last week, 38-7. But I think against AA opponents in 11-man football, Watertown figures to be a pretty good team this season, and they kind of owe a lot of that to what their offensive and defensive lines are expected to do. Aberdeen playing at T area, a couple of 0-1 teams, but a couple of pretty good 0-1 teams. The Governors get through and pressure McNeil. Terwilliger getting in there and helped out by Max Hunsley as well, forcing McNeil to throw it out of bounds.
I was kind of surprised they didn't try to call a timeout there, even do a quick little audible at the line of scrimmage. I mean, we had literally, I think, 8 guys in the box ready to come, play man on the outsides. And again, for that kind of route, what they're expecting to do and trying to buy that much time, it just wasn't going to happen.
2nd and 15 here from the Tiger 22-yard line, 3:08 to go. Quarter number 1, still no score. Both teams now with 3 possessions. McNeil pass is batted down by the 6'5" defensive end or linebacker, Cooper Terwilliger. And again, there are 4 Governor defenders coming from the backfield. Schoenhardt broke through. Jacob Mickinen broke through off of the D-line. As did Jamison Sharon. Johnny got through too.
Keep putting pressure on him. That's all we can do right now. Again, just get him scrambling the backfield, not settling down, not being able to set his feet and get those throws off.
Far hash mark still from the 22. Huron again, right to left. Road White. McNeil had time, but he looks left, goes right, and throws overshooting Colby Hofer. And that was a play that Colton McNeil basically looked like he was just hoping Hofer was open and then he'd be in the right spot. Well, there was plenty of coverage out there for the Governors, and the Tigers will go 3 and out on possession number 3. Neither team, in fact, if one team is impressed tonight, it's been the Tigers, but the Governor defense, as they did last week, has played pretty well. They've given up 1 big play, but 3, in fact, first downs for the Tigers. Hofer had his punt almost blocked. Couple of hops. Staley will finally get to it at the 28-yard line. Makes a couple of players miss, but not the 4th player. This is Charlie Martin getting in there to minimize the Staley return. A return of 4 on the punt that covered about 40 yards from Colby Hofer. Good effort there. The Governors are set to try it again. 1st and 10 here at their own 32. First quarter continues to run right on by with 2:47 left to play. And if it wasn't for all the offense or the incomplete passes that we've seen tonight, first quarter would probably be done already. Quick fire here, near side, getting into the hands of Staley. Lounsbury completes his first pass of the night. 3-yard gain by Staley up to the 35-yard line. Cooper Terwilliger and Cooper Bischoff are little extracurriculars coming late into that Governor bench. Officials doing a good job, I think, of letting them play, but interesting sequence there. 2nd down and 7, at least positive yardage for the Govs on 1st down here. Near hash mark, and the Governors in black on black. which I think is their best look, their most intimidating look. Trevor Rounds, left side, had some running room, but the linebacker comes up and closes things off here, and a good open field tackle for 21, Riley Weingart.
I like the call playing by Steele right now in terms of still trusting Lounsbury back there, coming back. I know he's made a couple mistakes, but again, right, putting the ball in his hands. Again, he's going to be your go-to guy, right, obviously throughout the year. So, again, get that confidence built up. I also like the off-tackle stuff. You look at Huron's defense right now, playing basically a 3-5. Again, are you going to get those backers crashing hard or not? And
another low snap this time that gets by Lounsbury. He'll pick it up. He unloads, and this pass was almost picked off, and I think it could have been grounding other than the fact that Lounsbury's getting hit while he throws, so that can certainly alter the trajectory of the pass. But once again, mistakes in the simplest of aspects of this game, and what the Governors have done for years is snap the ball into the gun, in the pistol, shotgun, whatever you want to call it. Incomplete pass. Lounsbury's 1 out of 4 for just 3 yards. Another 3 and out. And Stalley is on for his third punt of the night. This one's a good one. He'll kick it straight away. I don't believe a fair catch called, and the Govs will cover up the defender, Weingart, who is hit immediately, and fortunately for him, hangs on to the football at the Tiger 33-yard line. So 30 yards on this one from Stalley. And I don't know, we're up above the Governor crowd down below us. I imagine a lot of them are starting to get a little bit restless here, as this is just not typical Pierre Governor football. And again, it's going to be a work in progress all season long, certainly first couple of games, first game and a half. But it is an adjustment that fans are going to have to make. Here's McNeil on first down. He's got his man, far side. That's Porish up to the 40-yard line as the play starts at the 33. Pickup of 7. And Huron with a good start to their fourth offensive possession, and already 13 pass attempts by Colton McNeil.
It's what we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast as well. It's like this team isn't last year's team. It isn't the team before that. They've got to find their own identity. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're kind of working through right now. And again, I'm assuming they're going to find it. We hope they're going to find it. We know they're going to find it when it comes to the tail end of the year, but they just got to figure out who they are right now.
2nd and 3, long pass just to get to Porish here. It was basically a wide receiver screen, but a pass that was thrown about 15 yards from the far hash mark to the near alley. And Porish has his second straight, and they'll get this one to the 43-yard line. They'll have to look and survey. That is 10 yards from the initial spot of the first down play, but Darren Lorenz will say, let's bring the chains out from the far side and verify. Drew Strand out there wanted to get a look before releasing the chain gang. 1:08 to go. And again, let's just remind folks that are listening and anybody that might be in the stands. I mean, I don't think we can stress that point enough of where we're at right now, that this isn't your older brother's Pierre Governor squad. This is this group of sophomores and juniors, even a freshman or two, and a junior quarterback. And I think the most important thing right now is it's the offensive line that just hasn't been able to open the holes, give their quarterback the time they need, give their running back the holes to run through. And again, work in progress.
Yep.
It is a first down by a couple of inches, and the Tigers will have a fresh set of downs after a 3-yard hookup once again from Colton McNeil to Anderson Porish. McNeil again, inside handoff this time. Jonathan Bubba Peterson started right, cut back to the left. Nope, it's not Peterson. This is Landon Hulst for the first time tonight. Hulst is a 185-pound junior. Coach Strand said that was one player that was out injured a week ago. They get him back in the running game. Thackeray Hansen is another player that is a pretty good athlete for the Tigers that was out last week and remains out this week. Porish, who caught the previous 2 passes, was also out last week, so he's back. So it is a somewhat different Huron team. McNeil forced to throw off of his back foot in desperation once again. Out into the direction of Blake Elwine. Carson Stoser got a late break on that one, but was the closest to the ball when it finally came down at the 50-yard line. This is one thing to keep watching as well. McNeil, he can throw the football a long way, but there's a flag down. And this kind of leads to my point. When does it become an intentional grounding? Now, I think they had a receiver in the area here, so they'll probably wave this one off. And the referee behind the play is the only one who will call an intentional grounding. But McNeil has been close, in my opinion, to some other grounding calls already just by getting rid of the football in desperation a few times.
Yeah, and credit to our defense, obviously getting some pressure in the backfield and just getting scrambling. But he's got nowhere to go. The only way he can go is back right now.
Terwilliger once again was giving chase along with a line backing mate. 3rd down and 7. We're at the Huron 46, right down in front of us. Heading from right to left, final half minute of the first quarter. Here's Elwine coming in on a slant, and this pass is through his hands. That was thrown slightly behind him, but what should have been an easy grab for a would-be first down for Blake Elwine. And the Tiger drive will stall at 4th and 7 on their own 46-yard line.
And he just a little more closing speed out of Stoser over there right now. He's got the speed to do it. And obviously he's given up a little bit of height over there, but again, he's got to read that just a little bit quicker, close that. Obviously the ball was off and he didn't complete there, but I'd like to see him a little bit tighter on that coverage.
4th and 7, third punt of the night for Colby Hofer. Good, high, tight, or I should say a spiral.
Flag down there.
And Carson Stoser calls and receives the fair catch. Where's the flag at?
Right on the 50-yard line. Right in front of our bench.
Oh, there it is. Okay, the Governors are moving, so there is a flag down on this play. Hofer with a great punt, and Stoser had no chance to return. He catches it fairly at the 21-yard line. We'll check the call here as Darren Lorenz heads the other way to tell Coach Drew Strand of Huron what the situation is. And the line of scrimmage was about 7 yards. Well, no, it was at the 46, 4 yards back from where the foul is. Here's Mr. Lorenz, illegal substitution on the Governors.
Yeah, we had somebody step out of the box over here onto the field right when that play was going on, or maybe right before the snap. I'm sure that's what caused it.
Yeah, so this allows, I believe this is a 5-yard penalty to help the Tiger cause. And the ruling was they'll re-kick or at least replay 4th down, but 4th and 7 is going to become 4th and 2. And the near side linesman saying, nope, we were on the far hash mark. So penalty on the Govs, their 3rd of the night for 20 yards marked off against them. This one will take the football to the Pierre 49-yard line, now 4th and 2. And forget about a punt. Huron's got an opportunity to go for it. Just across midfield. McNeil with the snap, and here comes Babcock. Quickly, right through the line of scrimmage, and McNeil had no chance. He unloaded the pass. It was knocked down. And Huron, who had basically an extra opportunity, will turn it over on downs once again. 4 possessions for both teams. The Governors have punted 3 times and turned it over on downs once. Huron has turned it over on downs for the 2nd time, and they have punted twice. The Governors, once again, with good field position, have it 1st down at their own 49-yard line. This will be the final play of the first quarter, though. No score yet. Caleb Lounsbury, low snap, picks it up, fires, goes long, looking for Terwilliger, and he's got it at the 20-yard line. Terwilliger kept his eye on it. That was great coverage by the Tiger defender. But Terwilliger just hauled it right in. And again, the final play of the first quarter could be, well, a turning point. We'll see how it goes. But at the end of 1, Pierre 0, Huron 0. Tip of the cap and coverage here to Sean Messmore. But the Governors are on the doormat of the red zone. When we come back in 60 seconds, your Gales Gas Service scoreboard, no score to report. We'll be back in 1 minute, quarter number 2. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and DRGnews.com.
Need for high-quality replacement auto parts? Look no further than Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop in Pierre. Zander's has been servicing the Pierre area for over 40 years. Their professional parts techs can get you the part you need and get you back on the road. Stop by Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop at 500 West Sioux in Pierre or call 224-9221. Zander's, your source for domestic and foreign auto parts and accessories.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
1-yard pitch and catch from Caleb Lounsbury to Cooper Terwilliger, and the Governors have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. First play of the second quarter, a floater to the pylon. George Stalley catches, touchdown. 2 big plays for the Governors. The first play of the second quarter puts the Governors on top finally at 6-0. A 51-yard scoring drive. A 31-yarder to Cooper Terwilliger, who made a great catch. George Stalley runs a great pattern, but here's a couple of great passes thrown now by Caleb Lounsbury, and Governor fans finally get what they came here to see. 6 on the board, looking for one more. This is Carter Templeton, who was 2 for 3 in PATs a week ago. Low snap. Lounsbury has to pick it up. No chance to kick it away. The Tigers will converge. Bubba Peterson will get the stop, and Pierre will settle for 6. 11:54 to go, second period. The Governors are on the board first, and they lead the Tigers 6-0. We'll pause for 30 seconds. Pierre will kick when we come back with more Governor.
Fieldhouse in Pierre is your premier spot to watch all the sports, from your local Govs and Lady Govs, as well as Buffs and Lady Buffs, all the way up to your favorite big league teams. Kick back and relax with a pizza, nachos, burgers, or one of our air-fried appetizers. Wash down the food with your pick from our array of premium beverages. Between the action, be sure to check out the unique and plentiful memorabilia throughout the building. We can't wait for you to come in and watch the games with us broadcast on liveticket.tv. The Fieldhouse in Pierre.
At Ringneck Energy, their mission is to produce renewable energy that adds value to grain and livestock production, enhances the income of their investor partners, and provide a safe, rewarding work environment. Located at 901 Redwood Avenue in Oneida, South Dakota. Call 605-945-6900 or check ringneckenergy.com. A proud supporter of local schools and wishes all students the best of luck in all their activities during the school year, creating economic opportunities in our community.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
2 plays, 12 seconds, covering 51 yards for the Governors. And the kickoff coming for Pierre, leading 6-0. A low line drive taken on the run at the 15-yard line by Peterson for the Tigers. He runs into a blocker at the 33, bounces off, then loses the football, but the Tigers will recover it at the 40-yard line. Otherwise, Peterson's out to the 45, the 46. The Governors got a hit on him. Peterson's feeling the pain a little bit, but the Tigers fortunate to maintain possession in an otherwise real nice return for Bubba Peterson, who got a good running start as the Tigers starting with their best field position, or at least matching their best field position in 5 possessions tonight. Now their first chance to go from west to east, left to right. They trail, though, 6-0. And the Tigers will need Weingart to exit the field, but Drew Strand needs a timeout. So their first play coming offensively of the second quarter will have to wait. The Coca-Cola timeout Brought to you by our friends at Coca-Cola Bottling. 6-0 now. Governors, 11:46 to go. Second quarter. We pause for 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Titan Machinery is actively hiring service technicians to our Case IH team in Highmore, Miller, and Pierre. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make upwards of 6 figures. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single health care, and a generous tool allowance. For more information, log into titanmachinery.com/careers or contact Titan Machinery, your Case IH dealer, at 701-356-0130.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
And Holst gets away from E.J. Bucci, but there are 5 or 6 other black shirts coming after him, and this will be a big loss on a play. That was actually a pitch by McNeil to Landon Holst. And let's spot it back to the 32-yard line. This is a loss of 8. For the Tigers, it'll be 2nd down and 18. The Governor defense, now that they have a 6-0 lead, you get the sense that they're out for blood here to try to make sure that they keep the momentum on the side of the home team here. The Tigers will send 3 wide to the near side. Elwine the closest to us. Right near the numbers. McNeil's looking the other way, backing up once again, and this pass is taken away. Kellen Hansen takes it at the 48-yard line, up across the 50 to the 40 to the 30. Far side run out of bounds, and Kellen Hansen will turn the football away from the Tigers. The 19th pass attempt of the night. McNeil continues to have to throw off of his back foot, and finally the Governors take advantage of that. And they'll have it in Huron territory at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Hansen doing a great job just playing center field back there and just reading the quarterback's eyes. I mean, he could tell where he was going to go with that from the start and just reading the pass. Obviously, the pass wasn't where it wanted to be, but just making an opportunity or taking the opportunity what's there.
I think it's just inevitable, though. We see Colton McNeil having to throw off of his back foot because he's backpedaling, trying to avoid the rush as long as possible, and that's just not a good situation to be in. He's a real good thrower when he can spot up and throw. Meanwhile, Lounsbury rolls left. Terwilliger wide open, but overthrown by 4 yards into the end zone. And you know what, JW? This is something Trent Merkwan and I talked about last week. After a takeaway, Coach Steve Steele loves to go for the downs and try for a big play. The Governors had it worked out, but Lounsbury just a little too much on that pass intended for Terwilliger.
Yeah, it looked like he was kind of almost throwing on the run a little bit. Tough, obviously, when you're kind of going against the grain to set your feet, make that throw. But I think he did have a little bit of time if he wanted to set his feet and make a better throw there. But either way, great opportunity.
2nd down and 10, but the Governors, they certainly are getting into a little bit more rhythm now and starting to feel a lot more comfortable about what they're doing on the field here. Right in the middle of the field, in fact, at the far hash mark. And here's another low snap. Lounsbury makes a nice receive, but this play doesn't happen anyway. Pre-snap penalty. False start will go against the Governors. JW, we didn't see this at all last week, but there's maybe it's the grass field that the center, and we don't want to single anybody out, but Zayden Rounds has, he was the center last year too, and this is very different. Certainly not anything we expect, or we don't expect this to continue, but he's got to get settled in.
And the positives is things that you can clean up throughout the year. So
Lounsbury throwing again. This is over the top of E.J. Bucci, the tight end, coming across the field from the right to the left near hash mark. That one overthrown at about the 15-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 15 from the Governor 35-yard line. I should say from the Huron 35. More incomplete passes. Clock stopping in this first half is starting to take a while, but important thing is the Governors maintaining a 6-0 lead, scoring on 2 plays on their last possession after turning it over on downs once and punting 3 times in their first 4. Here's a good snap. Lounsbury spotting up again. Tight spiral. Shuffle by. Caught. Touchdown. Single coverage. And Lounsbury just dropped it in on a dime to the sophomore Carter Shufflebine. 6 for the Govs, and they lead 12-0. 35-yard strike. Shufflebine's first score of the season. The second touchdown of the night thrown by Lounsbury.
Yeah, I tell you want to go to a big guy, you got an opportunity to go a big guy. You want a guy with a little more speed. You've got Shufflebine that's sitting there. Again, those opportunities are all over the place. You just got to look for those matchups, and it's what Steele does really well.
Templeton for 1, and this is a high end-over-end kick. It's up, it's through and true, and with 10:26 to play in the second quarter, now the Governors have scored on back-to-back possessions. They lead the Huron Tigers 13-0. We pause for 30 seconds. Here's next kickoff coming up. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Graham Tire. The best Western Ramkota Hotel in Rapid City supports all South Dakota student athletes and their families. They are conveniently located off Interstate 90, close to downtown and minutes from the beautiful Black Hills. The Ramkota offers sports and family-friendly rates. Guests can relax for free in the indoor water park. They have 36,000 square feet of banquet and meeting space, and the award-winning Minerva's Restaurant and Bar is located on site. Best Western Ramkota welcomes everyone to beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Wellsbury to George Stalley. This time a 2-play, 30-yard scoring drive. There was a 5-yard penalty added in, a 35-yard strike from Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebine, plus the PAT, and it's 13-0 as Bubba Peterson takes the Governor kickoff from the 15-yard line up the alleyway on the near side, just across the 30-yard line. Huron football from there. Home opener for the Governors. And again, the fans maybe got a little impatient in waiting for their Governors to strike, but the last 2 possessions have been more like it. What Governor fans have become very much accustomed to, certainly the last 7 years, if not the last 10 or 11 and beyond. 10:20 to go, second quarter. McNeil will stay on the ground for a first down play here, and yards are hard to come by, and many cases for the small offensive line to try to lead the way for their Tiger backfield. And your Landon Hulst will just get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 31. Bubba Peterson gets the start. Hulst, who was injured last week, has now been in the backfield on successive possessions. Huron spreads the field. They still have Hulst in the backfield. McNeil in the pistol as the clock runs. Under 10 minutes to play. In the first half, McNeil looks left, throws on a quick hook, and this is Porish, I believe it is, number 11. It is, just across the 35, spotted at the 38. Modest gain of 7 to set up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, now for Pierre, it's just that whole bend don't break mentality in terms of willing to give up those 2 or 3 yards, 4-yard little passes like that, just as long as you're not giving up anything too deep.
Third catch for Porish tonight, 3rd and 3. The Tigers in between the hash marks. McNeil, quick fire again, and he's got his man for a first down. Max Hunsley, Lincoln Schoenhardt, Kellen Hansen, all trying to bring Porish down, who basically just gets through them all and then loses his balance to fall, but forward progress had been stopped. This is a gain of 6 to the 44-yard line. Porish catching 4 passes now. That's the 21st pass attempt by Colton McNeil. I've got him for 9 completions. He did throw an interception a short time ago. As Kellen Hansen set up the second touchdown for the Governors. Ooh, there's a big play. Hulst up the middle, and he breaks the tackle into Governor territory. All the way inside the 30-yard line down to the 25. Landon Hulst, a low center of gravity type of a runner, 185 pounds, and he looked good. He burst right through the line of scrimmage. Then all of a sudden was into the secondary for the Governors and slipped another tackle all the way to the Pierre 25-yard line. This will be a gain of 31 yards for Hulst, the biggest play of the night for the Tigers on the ground, second biggest overall.
Hey, he looks like a bowling ball coming through there, doesn't
Absolutely. 8:16 to go. McNeil first down, throwing off his back foot, and he had his man Elwine at the 1-yard line. Carson Stoser with the good catch-up speed. That's a point you alluded to not too long ago, John Calda. Stoser cut in front of that to knock it down and save what could have been the first touchdown of the year for the Huron Tigers.
Yeah, good closing speed there. Obviously, just opportunity and defense, turn that ball over. You got to try to get that up, try to take it as you can, but great knocking it down, cutting the play off a little bit.
And again, McNeil threw it off of his back foot. Yep. Maybe not quite as much as when he's in retreat mode, but here's a quick fire. This is caught at the 25 line of scrimmage, advancing up the near seam, and this is Logan Leyendecker, who will get the gain to the 18-yard line, and the Tigers are in the red zone with a 7-yard pickup.
You got to imagine there's a little muscle memory in there for him in terms of, just wanting to step into that pocket. He hasn't had that opportunity much tonight, and so for him, it's probably just been back foot, but
it's got to be. Huron's got to feel really good about where they're at and what they've been able to accomplish so far. They haven't gotten to the end zone yet, but their first trip to the red zone. But just the fact that they've got extra people that they didn't have a week ago. Here is Elwine with a quick grab near side, and that should be enough for another first down. They're inside the 15-yard line. As Elwine catches his third pass, spotted to the 13. That's 5 yards, and it's 1st and 10.
And they're not easy routes even to throw to either. I mean, that's all timing routes right now when you look at it. It's getting that ball and it's anticipating where your receiver is going to be when he's making that cut.
13-0 Governors. Here's Hulst on the ground. He won't get 31 this time, but he'll get positive yards. Well, maybe one. Looks like he gets to the 12, and the Governors converged well this time. Hulst is going to check out, hobbling just a little bit. He was not in action in the first game at Crane Youngworth down at Yankton a week ago. 6:49 to go, second quarter, 13-0 Governors. Huron threatening, though. 2nd and 9 at the 12, and pre-snap penalty here. Flag thrown by the near side line judge, and should be a false start, presumably, against Huron, and that is the case. That'll mark them back 5 yards, so that's something they really didn't need as they try to continue to advance in the Governor red zone. Back to the 17, 2nd down and 14. Actually, they spotted it at the 18-yard line. I think they cost Huron a yard extra there. McNeil has his man Leyendecker to the 5-yard line. Check it. It's Porish again. And Anderson Porish with a good slant route. And this will be short of a first down. The line to gain is the 3. They've got it at the 4, a pickup of 13 yards. And Porish did not play last week. I know Coach Drew Strand happy to have him back. He's caught 5 balls tonight. Halfway through quarter number 2, 13-0 Pierre. McNeil again. Yep. And this pass is, it floated up there. I thought it was deflected. It was not. Oh, wow. It is caught for a Tiger touchdown.
I thought it was deflected as well.
It looks like they almost had simultaneous possession. There was just a bunch of people out there. I believe it's Riley Weingar. He's the one getting congratulated. A 4-yard touchdown pass from Colton McNeil, Cade's little brother, to Riley Weingar, who catches his first pass of the night. The Tigers score their first touchdown of the season. And they'll send their place kicker in. This is Micah Larson. And a short kick that does not make it, so the Tigers will settle for 6. But Huron on the board and impressing tonight. 5:42 to play. It's 13-6. The Govs lead. Tigers will kick off when we come back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Dano's Marine in Fort Pierre is your one-stop shop for all things boats and watercraft. They are your local Vexus and Alumacraft boat dealer, some of the best boats on the water. Dano's also offers a full line of services to maintain your boat out of the water so you can enjoy more time on the water. Their certified technicians proudly service Yamaha, Mercury, and Everroot motors. Stop in today to visit about your next watercraft. Dano's Marine, proud sponsor of Pierre and Fort Pierre athletics and events. Wow. Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
69 yards covering 4 minutes and 38 seconds here in the second quarter. Cade McNeil to Riley Weingart, 4-yard hookup. Weingart catching it in front of the Governor defender, who just couldn't quite get the position on the play. And again, that pass that we thought might have been deflected. It was, in retrospect, a spiral pass, but it was just floated from about the 8 or 9 yard line where McNeil threw it right across the goal line to Weingart, who caught it. Michael Larson, a senior kicker, kicks it short. It's taken by Stalley behind the 20-yard line. He bounces it out. 35 to the 40. Now up to the 50. He'll be not run out of bounds. Well, he did just step out of bounds inside the 40-yard line at the 38. But George Stalley, who opened the game with a long kickoff return. Check that. Was that card? Well, it was Stalley to open the game, putting the Governors in Huron territory. He gets his second long kickoff return here, and the Governors certainly could use that as they try to bounce back from surrendering the score. 13-6. We've got 5:29 to play second quarter. Obviously plenty of time as they got it. 1st and 10, the Governors do at the Tiger 38-yard line. Stalley rolled an ankle a week ago. He's looking pretty good so far. Here's an underneath route. Rolling out is Lounsbury to Terwilliger. And Cooper catching this one maybe at the line of scrimmage at best before being pushed back. And this one will be placed back to the 38s. And a gain of nothing. 2nd down and 10. Terwilliger catches his second. Actually, they'll even give him a yard to the 37-yard line.
Been impressed with Huron's closing speed as well. I mean, again, getting ball backfield, even getting it 1 or 2 yards, man. They're coming, not just one guy either. It's been 3 or 4 guys on them immediately.
Lounsbury on 2nd and 9, checks off his first look, goes back the other way. Bucci out there, and this will be pass interference. Is that Bucci or? Nope, that's Shufflebein. Carter Shufflebein, who caught a pass a moment ago. And pass interference here coming against the defense. What'd you see on that one, John Calder? You had a little bit of a reaction.
I'm biased, but I'm also biased to a defensive player. And, man, I thought he made a really good play on that in terms of the defense. But obviously biased towards Pierre Governors. We love that call on there. But he was there. I thought he had great, good separation, got his hand up. I thought he just did a good job defending that pass.
I was watching the ball more in flight, but I think from my assumption, though, it looked like maybe the defender is just didn't give Shufflebein the opportunity to come back to the ball, which was slightly underthrown. So pass interference, a 15-yard penalty, and it'll be a 1st down for the Governors at the Tiger 22-yard line now. As Lounsbury wants to throw again. Comes left side. Hot shot. Looking for Shufflebein. And you talk about closing speed. Another fine play, this time by Sean Messamore, who will knock it down at the 20-yard line. A, great play by Messamore. But B, what a throw by Lounsbury. He's got some speed on his fastball here on that pitch.
Yeah, you talked about it. Steele talked about his ball from last week, or we were talking up in the booth. I mean, he's got a great ball. Again, just seeing the game, seeing everything in front of him. And once that starts to slow down a little bit more, I mean, it's going to be, I think, lights off for this kid.
2nd and 10. I've got Lounsbury 5 of 10 for 100 yards. And a couple of scores. He'll go straight up the gut this time as the offensive line opens the hole for Caleb Lounsbury. inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. Longest run for Caleb on the season, maybe the longest run for any Governor. This one, it's about 8 yards inside the 15. They'll put it at the 14. In fact, that was the longest distance of a run of any running play the Govs had last week. Here, for the most part, has had to abandon the run. They've only run 8 rushing plays. Here comes number 9. Actually, this is number 10. And the Tigers get through. The Govs wanted to stick with what works, but this time it didn't work. Cooper Bischoff getting in there and dropping Lounsbury for a loss on what was 3rd and 2. Now it's back to 4th and 3 from the 15-yard line.
Got to be thinking Cooper Terwilliger on this pass right here, but we'll see where they line him up and what kind of matchup we got here.
Twiggy's going right side of the tight end spot. The ball is right in the middle of the field. 2 wide left, 1 wide. That shuffle behind to the far side. Lounsbury's looking left. Short route. Stalley has it inside the 10-yard line down to the 8. That'll be a chain mover of 7 yards. And the Governors have it 1st and goal. And that was just as a rhythm play.
Yep.
And great rhythm to it at that. 8 yards to, that was Stalley, right?
Yep.
13-6, near hash mark. Stalley and Lincoln Dilgis are on the short side of the field. Stalley in motion. They'll pitch it to him. He cuts back to the inside of the field, and Peterson will get to him at the 6. Boy, I tell you what, when George made that early cut, I thought he was gone. And suddenly Bubba Peterson stood in his way, and it's only a gain of a yard to the 6-yard line.
Yeah, Bogenhagen made a great block out there. I mean, in that case, you've got an end that's coming up field on you. And the great thing about, us running that play is that we've got a kid like Stalley that can make those cuts. You've seen Huron try that play at least once or twice tonight where they don't quite have that shiftiness. They got to try to get upfield as quickly as possible.
2nd and goal from the 6. And here come the Tigers. And you've got 3 Huron players a little eager to try to stuff the run or maybe get to the quarterback here. And it is encroachment. That'll be half the distance to the goal, and the Governors will advance to the 3-yard line. JW, we are going to be talking, I think, about the Huron effort and what they've done tonight. Win or lose, so far they've played an outstanding first half of football from what was expected, I think, of them coming in. Clock starting up again, 2:10 to go. 13-6 Governors. Lounsbury is upended as he goes straight up the middle from an empty backfield again.
I mean, that's one thing. You take the Governors, for example. Every game that you go out and play, you're going to get the best of no matter what team that you're playing. I mean, to them, it's like they get a chance to come in here, knock off defending champs, multiple times. I mean, again, I think they're fired up. And you keep them in a game like this, it's just going to add to that excitement and add to that fire that they had.
Just a yard for Lounsbury. John 2 was the first one to blow that play up. And now with Carter Merrill in the backfield, he'll get the handoff, and he is dropped quickly. Bischoff in there again, helped out by Oakley Anderson. Carter Merrill's first run of the season. Carter is a 150-pound junior. And where do they spot this one? Still at the 2-yard line, 4th and goal for the Govs. No thoughts about kicking this one. It's 13-6. Stalley will come back to join Lounsbury in the backfield. And they're going to option pitch. Stalley all by himself against 2 defenders, and he is stuffed. Huron's defense comes to life again. Mason Juergens closes it off, and Stalley nowhere to go.
Man, he did a great job of shedding that block out there by Dilgis and just collapsing hard and getting to there. I mean, I thought, again, we talked about Stalley in that first play of this drive here, and how you think he's got that open and he's going, and they just keep closing and closing and closing, and they're on him quick.
So the Tigers have it at their own 2-yard line. We've got a timeout on the field. A Coca-Cola break in the action with 50 seconds to play in the second quarter. The score remains 13-6 as the Governors are kept out of the end zone. But they do still lead, and we're back in 30 seconds. This Coca-Cola break in the action. We're back with more Pure Governor football.
Oh, Bill, you're walking so much better. What did you do?
Well, I got so tired of the pain and nearly fell. And one of my friends recommended physical therapy at Winter Physical Therapy. And you know what? My back also stopped hurting.
Huh. So how did you get started?
My doctor wrote me a referral, but that's not always needed. Turns out you always have a choice where you want to go.
So why did you choose Winter Physical Therapy?
I love to support our locally owned small businesses, and quite frankly, they give great personalized care.
Winter Physical Therapy. Exceptional care.
That moment when you realize your furnace is stone cold busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you want.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
Some great offensive plays and production, but they couldn't seal the deal on this last possession. And Huron has it 1st and 10 at their own 2-yard line, and they'll just let McNeil try to sneak it out away from the goal line a bit. The Governors have a couple of timeouts to use yet, and Pierre is saying they've got the football. There wasn't any indication coming in at the end of that play, certainly from officials, that presumably McNeil lost the football.
I got to imagine he's probably just held up at the line of scrimmage and probably a lot of ripping and, basically trying to strip the ball from there.
It stays at the 2. I think Pierre's trying to call a timeout just to get the ball back as much as they can. This would be their second charge of the first half. Coca-Cola timeout. Once again, we'll keep it here. 43 seconds left. We're in the second quarter. Both teams went scoreless in the first quarter. A lot of punting. Teams turning it over on downs. The Governors had opportunities to win field position, but a big play by Huron got it out of their own red zone on a long pass play to the big fella Blake Elwine. But they did go scoreless through that quarter. Then the Governors finally broke through on the first play of the second quarter. Last play of the first quarter was a long pass to Cooper Terwilliger from Caleb Lounsbury. The next play, the first play of the second quarter, a 20-yard touchdown from Lounsbury to George Stalley. They put the Govs on top 6-0, and then after a Kellen Hansen interception, putting the Govs at the Tiger 30, after a 5-yard penalty, Lounsbury found Carter Shufflemine from 35 yards out. The kick was good from Templeton. Make it 13-0. There's another sneak, and again, Huron's just trying not to get pushed back into the end zone. McNeil will make it to the 3-yard line. Nope, we've got a false start. This play didn't even happen. I was waiting, perhaps another timeout taken. So half the distance to the goal from the 2 will send him back to the 1-yard line. Huron 6 penalty, but the last 2 have been half the distance to the goal. Short penalties, so their penalty yardage isn't really suffering, but their field position here is. And I'll tell you what, they're bunching it up, but McNeil is taking the snap in the end zone. He's trying to push forward, and the smaller Tiger offensive line is winning that battle just enough to get McNeil out of the end zone himself. He'll get back to the 2, and Pierre will take their final timeout of the first half with 38 seconds left. Let's pause for 30 seconds this time. It is a Coca-Cola timeout. The Governors lead the Tigers 13-6. You're listening to Governor Football.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver on Denver Air Connection. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money. Avoid the crowds and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre.
Regional Airport, skip the drive.
Bill Troutner Stadium at Hollister Field. Friday night under the lights for the first time this season for the Governors. A lot of folks in green or green and black expected a fairly easy ball game, but it has been anything but so far here as we reach the tail end of the first half. The Governors have Huron at 3rd down and 11 from about the 1.5 yard line here. Pierre spending their last time out. They definitely want to get the ball back because nobody runs a 2-minute drill better in recent history than the Pierre Governors. Colton McNeil, and we've got another flag.
Pierre there.
And the Governors encroached this time, so Huron gets what they really needed, and that was just a little more breathing room. And the coaches will come out of the box maybe to surrender the rest of this first half as they won't be able to stop the clock, assuming Huron keeps the ball on the ground one more time, although McNeil will step back into the gun. This is interesting. See if Huron may be thinking about trying to make a big play. Nope, they'll just shotgun snap it. McNeil takes to a knee back at the 1-yard line. So check the timing, however, and Pierre can't stop the clock with 20 seconds left in the first half. It is 4th down. Very interesting that and again, that's what they do all the time. It's kind of going back to the Lincoln Kienholz days when you take a knee and you just give up yardage, but things can happen. We've seen a lot of bad snaps on the part of the Govs. But as it is, the first half will come to an end. And on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, tough ball game, but the Governors still have the lead. It's Pierre 13 and the Huron Tigers 6. Scoreboard comes to us a courtesy of Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Halftime is up as halftime is sponsored by the folks at Wealth Partners Ameriprise Financial. You'll find them on East Sioux Avenue in Pierre in the Capitol Creek Center Plaza. Halftime. Governor Football, your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7, DRGnews.com, and the DRG News app. We're back to recap this first half in 3 minutes. This is Pierre Governor Football.
I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Let your local heating experts at Pites Service Experts keep you warm with $50 off any furnace repair.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Pites Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
For over 70 years, Pitt's Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitt's Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
The Corner Station Convenience Store and the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierre, South Dakota. At the Corner Station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The Corner Station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the Corner Station and the Crossing.
DRG Media Group Sports is the official voice of the Pierre Governors.
Kienholz wants to run again, and he's got room. 40, 30, foot race to the 10, 5, and a touchdown. Pierre will come back and set up Avery Kaiser on the outside left through the block, and that's down.
The official voice of the Pierre Governors, River 92.7, and also at the River 92.7 page of the DRG News app, brought to you by Golden Buffalo and DRGnews.com.
Briggs Trucking and Construction in Fort Pierre provides quality freight transportation services, cargo hauling, excavation, and demolition services. They also specialize in dirt and gravel work for everything from commercial work to new construction. Briggs Trucking and Construction will haul everything from light poles to farm and agricultural supplies. The bigger the job or the bigger the load, the better, as that is where their expertise really shines. Contact Briggs Trucking and Construction at 605-280-2848 or email them at cbriggs25@pi.midco.net to visit about your next project.
Give it off to Cisse, gliding to the basket, out to 3, Jay Hayes, good! And Eric Glenn wants to stop the music.
Graham Tire of Pierre is your premier hometown shop, specializing in tires to fit vehicles, from ATVs to large farm equipment and everything in between. At your tire store next door, you can find a plethora of brand name tires that range from 4 to 10 ply and much more. Our highly skilled technicians can handle brakes, heating, and air conditioning. Call us today at 224-8643 or visit us at grahamtire.com. Graham Tire is a proud sponsor of Pierre and surrounding communities' local activities.
The foundation for how we do business is right in our initials, W-E. We. Everything we do is a partnership. We understand solving the many complex challenges growers face every day takes teamwork. And when we succeed, we do it together. That's the power of we.
Scott Darnell with Lee Real Estate in Pierre is ready to help you find your dream home. There are 10 things you need to do to buy or sell your home. Number 1, call him at 605-220-2676, and he'll handle the other 9. As your resident realtor on a bike, he will make buying or selling your home feel like a walk in the park, not an Ironman triathlon. Find him on Facebook or email scott@LeeRealEstatePierre.com. Lee Real Estate and Scott are proud sponsors of Central South Dakota Youth Sports and Events broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Dimmick Cheese has been making handmade artisan cheese for over 90 years and has over 25 flavors of cheese. Stop by the store for sampling of all the cheeses. The store also offers several South Dakota-made products. And at the store, find Remedy Brewing on tap. Dimmick Cheese offers gift boxes, and fundraisers are available. To find out more, go to the website, dimmickdairy.com, or call 605-928-3833. And don't forget to check your local grocery store for their premium cheeses and cheese spreads. Dimmick Cheese.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
Olson Plumbing in Pierre provides complete plumbing and drain cleaning services to commercial and residential customers. Olson Plumbing understands how the simple things in life are often the things we can't live without, and running water is the top of the list. Olson Plumbing offers 24/7 emergency services, and they can be at your location in under an hour in most cases. If you need help with your plumbing system, call Olson Plumbing 605-224-6436.
You asked for it. Nonstop flights between Pierre and Minneapolis. Now you can book nonstop flights from Pierre to Minneapolis and Denver on Denver Air Connection. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets with fares starting at just $119 one way. Seats are limited and restrictions apply. Business, pleasure, a game, a winter getaway. It's easy when you fly from Pierre. Visit DenverAirConnection.com/Expedia to book your trip today. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Minneapolis flights begin November 30th.
At Jan Bussey Ford & Highmore, they've been building partnerships for life by treating customers right, offering a low-pressure sales process, no haggling over price, passing low overhead savings on, and providing a Ford-certified service department fixing it right the very first time. If you're looking for a new Ford, a quality pre-owned vehicle, a new or used ATV, or a trailer, stop by Jan Bussey Ford & Highmore and experience the difference.
Jan Bussey Ford, building partnerships for life.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The word cooperative means working together for a common purpose. At Actegra Cooperative, we are dedicated to supporting the success of our farmers and the health of our communities for generations to come. Rooted in our communities, Actegra strives to instill dedication, determination, and integrity in everything we do, and that includes inspiring the next generation of agricultural leaders.
Hey Josie, why so glum, chum? I can't find a way to get my whole group to one spot without taking all these cars. You haven't heard of Denwall Transportation? They have luxury seating buses with air conditioning, outlets to charge your phone, and other must-haves for traveling. Whoa, no way! Yeah, you should check them out. Where can I find them? You can follow them on Facebook or denwalltransportation.com, or hey, let's give them a call at 605-532-3836. Denwall Transportation, let us do the driving.
Explore the 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a re-carpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start stop technology, you'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierre, South Dakota.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Allied Plumbing and Heating is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
John Hoffman Electric is your neighborhood electrical service contractor, and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies, such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
Protect what matters most with the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, American Family Insurance. Our personalized insurance solutions ensure you're covered, no matter what life throws your way. From home and auto to farm, commercial, and life, we tailor policies to fit your unique needs. With our dedicated team and exceptional service, you'll have peace of mind knowing you're in good hands. Contact the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, LLC.
Best of luck in today's competition to the Potter County Battlers from Black Sheep Agronomy, your local agronomy experts. Black Sheep Agronomy wants you to have a successful farm plan and is focused on products and practices that work in this region. As community members themselves, Tyler, Tice, and Austin support area students who work hard in their school and extracurricular activities. Good luck, Battlers from Black Sheep Agronomy. Call 842-6104 for all your agronomy needs.
With our new online loan application, you can go to our website and apply for a loan when it's most convenient for you. We make getting loan approval fast and easy. Our local lenders are available to assist you if you have any questions. We make it pain-free to get that loan you've been wanting. We're an equal housing lender. Oahe Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
On Monday, September 2nd, all of Grossenberg Implement's 9 locations will be closed in observance of Labor Day. This is so all of their employees can spend time with their families. If you're looking for equipment, look no further than Grossenberg Implement. They have new and used equipment to help you get the job done. Go online at grossenberg.com to see the entire lineup. Remember, Grossenberg Implement's 9 locations in South Dakota, Nebraska, and Wyoming will be closed on Labor Day. On Monday, September 2nd, all of Grossenberg Implement's 9 locations will be closed.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching?
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
1-7. Other scores in 9AA, Stanley County up at Leola Frederick area tonight. We'll check in on that one. That's on KGFX on the AM side, and a tight one so far. But the last score reported was late first quarter, 12-8. Leola Frederick leading the Buffaloes. So Stanley County, who's been beaten soundly in the first 2 weeks of the season, maybe so far a little more competitive of a ball game there. That's a light regional schedule, and we'll just end it right there and to talk about this second half with John Calda. And again, if you're Coach Steve Steele, I think in one sense you got to say the right thing to try to fire these guys up to make plays coming into the second half. But in another sense, I mean, these coaches they're just so comfortable in the way they can reach these players to do what needs to be done to make the right plays coming into the second half. How would you think that locker room chat went here, leading only 13-6 tonight?
Yeah, I mean, if you try to speed things up on these guys, I think it's only going to be detrimental. And so I think it was kind of one of those where, hey, like, calm down, we're fine. Okay, we need the line to sustain blocks first right now. We need our snapper to get the ball, quarterback, make sure you're not taking your eyes off the ball. And I think just a nice, slow, controlled drive and just, 5 to 10 yards, just let everybody play the game of football. And again, we're not going to score every possession, and that's just the way it's going to be, I think, this game right now.
Halftime over. The Comtech opening kick of the second half from Carter Templeton, right to left, is taken deep at the 10-yard line. Good kick for Templeton, but may have outkicked his coverage. That's what people say about me and my wife a lot. But Bubba Peterson is out across the 30-yard line, and the Tigers will have the opening possession of the second half. They'll spot it at the 33-yard line. Brian Oakland play-by-play. John Calda with the expert analysis. Caleb Brozick. We can call him an expert videographer now, right? He's been doing this a while. And William Wilson, the young guy of the bunch, running technical direction back in our River 92.7 studios, your official home of the Governors, River 92.7. Quick pass, actually a backward lateral to get the ball into the hands of Landon Hulst. Out behind the line of scrimmage, he'll cross the 30 to the 31. He gets up asking for a face mask penalty. Didn't get it, and it turns into a loss of 2. We'll call that a running play. That was clearly a backward lateral from Colton McNeil. The Tigers had to be very happy with how their first half went, but I think they definitely want more of the same, but they definitely need more production. Here they get a 2-yard gallop, but John Calda, what would you think in that Huron huddle at halftime?
I imagine a lot of excitement right now, and just, man, keep that foot on the gas pedal, so to speak, and kind of a little shocked on what they're doing here coming out right now. But again, I was talking to Caleb earlier in terms of, we kind of played that break don't pen defense when they scored that touchdown, where our backers weren't really getting back into the coverage and stopping some of those slant routes. And they're kind of getting us to creep up a little bit more. Maybe they come back to that here.
This is 3rd and 11. McNeil off his back foot. Yet again, there's Terwilliger picking it off at the 43. Far sideline, 30, 20, 10-5, touchdown. Cooper Terwilliger intercepting the short pass by Colton McNeil. We have a flag thrown after the end of the play. It could be an unsportsmanlike, but the play will count as Terwilliger gallops in 43 yards for a defensive touchdown, and the Governors get a big play to open the second half. And again, we'll check the flag. Darren Lorenz counts the touchdown, but unsportsmanlike on the Governors. I believe it was Carson Stoser out there who was just maybe saying something it probably shouldn't have. and they'll assess the penalty yardage on the ensuing kickoff. So 10:34 to play here. The second half starts with a bang on the defensive side of the football. Terwilliger with a 43-yard interception return for a score. Templeton to try a PAT. That one is up and through. So the Governors tack on 7, and they lead 20-6. I'm going to keep it here once again. I just want to ask my guys here about McNeil. Clearly, once again, this time, we talked about it in the first half, having to throw off of his back foot. And again, I just kind of thought that would come back to bite him, and it really did this time.
Yeah, I mean, not sure which receiver he was looking for. I think he did come off his back foot and just kind of threw it into a general area and just wasn't where his guys were. And I was actually kind of surprised they didn't come across, slants across the middle again like they did, what really set up that long drive for them in that with that touchdown as well.
Yeah, they came out running the football a little bit, maybe a little conservative, but I imagine they'll maybe change their ways and come back and try to get fired up again. But they've got to come out and find ways to make those plays that they were making. And again, they made a lot of good things happen, especially on the defensive side of the football. They haven't had that opportunity yet, but they'll have to start with their offense now playing from 2 scores down for the second time today. So after the unsportsmanlike penalty, that'll mark the kickoff origin back to the 25-yard line. And the Tigers will get another opportunity. They had a good return by Bubba Peterson on the previous attempt. And as Templeton will tee it up and boot it away right to left. Low line drive to the 25, taken by Peterson on the near hash mark. He'll go back to the middle of the field, cuts across the 40-yard line. We've got a flag thrown from behind the play as the Governors give chase. Peterson out to the 44-yard line, but we'll check this flag and see if Huron might be backed up in this case. So again, this will go against the Governors. Maybe face mask, a 5-yard face mask from the end of the run, which was to the 45. Now the Tigers have it, 1st and 10, right at midfield. Out in front of us at the 50. 10:26 to go. Third quarter. We just started, but a 43-yard interception returned by Cooper Terwilliger has the Govs on top 20-6. Here's a hesitation in the backfield, but let's see if this is Hulst or Peterson carrying. Give him 2, maybe 3 into Pierre territory. And that is Landon Hulst to the Governor 47-yard line. Johnny Sharon in on the stop. 2nd down and 7 coming up. Governor defense trying to basically keep the momentum on their side now, but Huron in good field position to start this drive. 2 wideouts near side. They'll go on the slant, and this pass is almost picked off. McNeil's pass is a little bit short, however, of Porter Hunsley. He short hops it, and that pass intended for Anderson Porish. McNeil thought he would go on kind of a deep slant. McNeil's trajectory of the pass was supposed to lead Porish, but Porish did not zig nor zag.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that was, whose fault that was, but he threw the ball in the right spot, I felt, but just receiver wasn't there.
Yeah, Porish, I think, at the end of the play looked a little bit confused. 9:44 to go, third quarter, 3rd and 7. Now just inside Governor territory. McNeil hit as he throws, but he's looking for Porish again, and he doesn't see it again. The pass thrown behind him, and that lands on the numbers at the 20-yard line near side. So 4th down coming for the Tigers. 7 to go, but I think Huron's going to try to play the field position game, and they'll send Colby Hofer out to kick it away. Virtually no breeze tonight. The South Dakota flag under the U.S. flag to our left does have a little bit of a waver to it. Snap back to Hofer. This is a low line drive kick as he tries to angle it away from Carson Stoser. It'll take a generous bounce, but all the way down inside the Governor 15 and downed by Logan Leyendecker at the 13 yard line. 34 yards to the positive there for Huron. The Governors will start with their worst field position of the night. Last week, they found themselves starting a drive at the 13-yard line. 12 plays later, they were in the end zone, so they have had sustained drives. Tonight, 2 drives in the second quarter were both 2 plays. One of 30 yards, one of 51 yards. So we'll see what they can do with 9:29 to play from their own 13. First offensive play of the second half, and going long is Lounsbury looking for Scheffelbein, and it was Huron who had an opportunity to pick this one off. 2 men in coverage out there for the Tigers. And Lounsbury overthrew Scheffelbein just a little bit. It was Leyendecker out there who had the best opportunity to catch that pass. But it'll go back to 2nd and 10. That was a play the Governors drew up, and in hindsight, maybe Lounsbury, given another chance, would have thought better of throwing the ball at least to that particular receiver. Here's Trevor Rounds running the football for the first time in a while. Nice effort here. He's out to the 20-yard line, spins, but can't get away from an ankle tackle. He'll fall forward to the 21. Pickup of 8 yards here. And I'll be honest, JW, that is probably the most urgency or maybe the most purpose that I've seen Trevor Rounds running the football so far in the first game and a half of the season.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, I think against this defense that off tackles, works really well. Just got to seal that outside backer there, and the line did a great job of that.
Near hash mark, 2nd down, make it 3rd down and 3. Option pitch. Rounds, he has it again. He'll lose the football, but he's right on the sideline. It'll go out of bounds, and it's a 1st down gain for Trevor Rounds up to the 25, maybe even the 26, as Riley Weingar sends him off the field. Pick up 5 for Trevor Rounds. 5th carry of the game, 17 yards, unofficial. First down chain mover here for the Governors. Back in the pistol comes Caleb Lounsbury. He'll send Terwilliger closer to the line of scrimmage. Lounsbury over the middle. Scheffelbein has a step, and he's got it. Beautiful grab by Carter Scheffelbein. And a strike delivered by Caleb Lounsbury into Tiger territory. Scheffelbein caught it at the 45. He's taken down to the Tiger 40. Pickup of 34 yards, and that had all kinds of pretty written all over it.
Yeah, line did a great job, gave him an opportunity to just sit back and read that, play develop well. Scheffelbein's speed is unreal right now. And tell you what, there's that arm that we talked about with Lounsbury.
And this time they got single coverage on Scheffelbein. He had the position. Just a beautiful fingertip grab. He put his hands out there. The ball falls right into it for 34. Here comes Rounds again. He makes a move, slips a tackle inside the 35, falls forward to the 32. That's 8 more for Trevor Rounds. And the Governors, on the heels of just one big play, suddenly starting to run and move a lot more downhill here.
Would have been nice to hear Coach Nyes maybe talk a little bit more in the room with his offensive linemen, because I tell you what, they're coming out lights out right now in this second half.
Saw Jacob Mikkonen, one of the leaders of that offensive line, captain of this team. The right guard, as he was just hobbling just a little bit. Here's 2nd and 2. Lounsbury's going to throw. Timing pattern far side. Single coverage. Scheffelbein comes down with it. He catches it at the goal line for a touchdown.
And I saw a reflection in the end zone. I thought the ball dropped. I didn't know he caught it.
Your reaction, an OMG moment. And basically, I mean, it just didn't look like that pass was going to come down. But Scheffelbein just catches it 32 yards. Another strike from Lounsbury to Carter Scheffelbein. Touchdown, Governors, and they lead 26-6. And I'm the same thing. I didn't think that ball was just going to be caught.
No, it was great coverage again by the Huron defender.
Absolutely. Here's Templeton's kick. It's up and good. Tack on another. 7:25 to play in the third. Back-to-back outbursts for the Governor offense, and they now lead 27-6 over the Huron Tigers. We'll pause for 30 seconds. The kickoff coming from the Govs when we return with more Pierre Governor football.
The right audience. If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your team or reach the region and state. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Todd Sandel today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
After his PAT, it's 27-6 Governors. As Peterson takes this one, I believe it's Peterson at the 8-yard line, and the Governors special teams coverage team will do the job this time as Peterson is hit shy of the 20-yard line. They'll mark him at the 19, and suddenly this really does seem like a completely different ball game. An interception return for a touchdown, a quick strike offensive touchdown, and now a great special teams coverage play. This is what Governor fans are more used to.
I'd say even watching Templeton's progression as he's kicked all night, the first couple were kind of a line drive, like you said, out kicking his coverage. Finally got some good height out of that, kicked it within the 10-yard line, allowed his defenders to get down and do what they needed to do.
1st and 10 from the 19. Here's Colton McNeil. They'll go option left. He still has it. He'll turn, and he finally got rid of it. And then on the far side, 20 to the 25, and a good gain for the Tigers to Landon Hulst.
Yeah, he pitched that late.
Well, and this is a 3-year starting quarterback for the Tigers. He's done this before, but kind of a fearless play as it turns out to pick up 7 yards. Landon Hulst, I know the Tigers glad to have him back. And keep in mind, Huron has played well tonight, but they've got a couple of key players back, especially on the offensive end, that have really added to their playmaking capability, something they really didn't have at all against Yankton a week ago. Man in motion, he'll take the pass. That's Mason Juergens. The Governors cover him up. Nice play by Kellen Hansen. And Juergens is grabbing for his toe. Looked like he was cramping up a bit, but he's helped up. He'll advance to the 29-yard line, but that's a gain of only 3.
Tough play by Hansen there. Coming all the way across the field, I think he was manned up on him, but he's trailing him the whole way and just kept basically right in his hip pocket, not allowing him to cut back, but yet basically, again, being able to utilize his speed to cut out that corner on him.
That is good enough for a first down, though, for the Tigers. I like the tackle, too, and something the Govs didn't do all that great last week was tackle. Aberdeen Central seemed to do a better job of that in that aspect. Here is Elwine, covered up by Carson Stoser, but Elwine coming on the deep crossing route, and McNeil, who had time to throw this time, unable to hook up with the big 6'9" junior.
Yeah, I like the change in Carson a little bit here the second half, too, or actually towards the tail end of the first half. I think he's kind of understanding that his speed's going to take him a long way with these guys, and he shouldn't be afraid to kind of get up there and just, bump and run with them.
It may have actually been Porish who was the intended receiver, but as it is, 2nd and 10 from the 29 for the Tigers, who trail 27-6. We've got 6:25 to go, quarter number 3. Here's McNeil again, flushed out of the pocket, rolling left, well out of the tackle box. He's actually got a receiver out there at the 30-yard line who I believe hauled this pass in and is a little bit slow in getting up off the ground, and now he will receive some treatment for a cramp. Tough to know who that was until he gets up off the ground, and that pass was caught. It was caught, but it looks like they either didn't gain anything or he was out of bounds. So we'll just call it an incomplete pass. 30 passing attempts for McNeil, and we've still got 17, almost 18 minutes of football to go in this game. Cubs lead by 3 scores. It's 3rd and 10 for the Tigers. Your defense trying to clamp down. Here's a high snap that gets over McNeil. He'll fall on it, but not until he's inside the 10. Does he have control? It doesn't look like it. And the Governors may have come in and recovered this. Now, McNeil was on his back. Now, it's still Huron football. McNeil had it briefly at that, but somehow as he was trying to just secure it even more, the ball slipped out again. Then the Governors recovered it, but it's still Huron football at the 7-yard line. That's a big break for the Tigers, but a bad break because of the bad snap, something the Governors have struggled with tonight. This is a loss of 22 yards on the play. Now a high snap, but Colby Hofer has it in the end zone, punting out of there. It's a short kick out to the far side, and it bounces only at about the 20-yard line, and the Governors are going to have great field position here, it looks like, at the 19. So Hofer, who had to rush that one because of a Governor rush, only getting about 12 yards on the punt. So the Governors will lead 27-6. Will start in the Huron red zone at the 19-yard line. Oddly enough, that's where the last Tiger drive started. They're only their own 19-yard line. They pick up a first down, but lose big yardage and only punt back to the 19. So under 5 minutes to go. Stalley out of the backfield in motion. Lounsbury rolling in that direction. Georgie falls down, though, inside the 10-yard line. Tell you what, it's cooling off into the 60s, maybe some condensation. These darn grass fields, I tell you, it's incomplete pass. It'll be second down and 10.
Was that a plug for a new turf field? Is that where you're going with that?
Well, they're playing soccer on this field now. I guess it serves a purpose. By the way, one more field has lost their grass in 11-man football, or in AA football. Douglas now has a turf field. Yeah, I found that out last night when we were out there. We'll be there later in the season. Here comes Rounds on 2nd and 10. Slips another tackle, and suddenly Trevor Rounds is becoming a lot more difficult to bring down by defenders as he gets inside the 15-yard line. Spot it to the 12. That's a pickup of 7 on 2nd and 10, and Trevor Rounds starting to get the Governors in certainly more negotiable situations. In this case, 3rd and short with 3 to go.
Yeah, there's two sides to that. One, you've got Rounds making some great cuts and obviously being a little elusive, but you also got our linemen finishing 3-4 yards downfield right now, too. They're doing a great job getting that initial block.
Huron with some motion, but they're still on their own side. Lounsbury taking his time. Under 5 seconds to snap the ball here, and Lounsbury we'll get it about with 1 second left. Rounds bounces out inside the 10, diving to the 5. First down, Governors, as Trevor Rounds continues to run well. I just got my first text from a fan saying, keep the grass, no turf.
That didn't take long.
It's a campaign. We should run a poll here. So the Govs will put him at the 6 as Rounds picks up 6. Halfway there from the 12, it's 1st and goal for the Governors with 3:44 counting down third quarter. Pierre looking for their 3rd score since halftime. Lounsbury cuts inside, delivers the pass inside the 5. A flag was thrown back in the backfield. This is E.J. Bucci with his first would-be grab of the game, but the Governors are probably going to be penalized here. There was good pursuit into the backfield by the Tiger defenders. Lounsbury made good recognition, and he cut back up the field before delivering the pass. But here comes Darren Lorenz saying holding on the Governors. So 1st and goal from the 6. It'll move back to the 16. Governors, who were only penalized, I believe, 4 times last week, have been dinged 8 times here in their home opener. 3:25 to go, third quarter. Pierre in command so far, or at least to this point now, but they're looking for more. Tigers showing blitz, but they'll back off. Lounsbury in the backfield, and a tipped pass. Trying to throw over the middle underneath to George Stalley, but Huron getting their hands up. Now, John Calda, you mentioned the offensive line on running plays is finishing plays about 3 or 4 yards downfield. And you think about the size mismatch, especially for Huron, and you can certainly understand if they're starting to get a little fatigued and maybe running out of gas against much bigger and maybe stronger, presumably stronger opponents.
Yeah, they were shooting gaps earlier, and now they're not, that speed is gone.
Lounsbury to Terwilliger this time over the middle. Cooper's hearing footsteps from Colby Hofer. Maybe short-armed it, but the pass falling incomplete, and it's 3rd and goal from the 16 now for the Pierre Governors.
You go to the second half and you talk about the halftime talk and so on, and I think that's another reason why you can stay somewhat calm. You understand you got the size. You understand that, again, traditionally against a smaller team, they start to wear down a little bit if they're not quite as deep. And, again, just patience, and I think that's what it's going to take with this team.
Lounsbury, 3rd and 16, near side. Stalley catches, touchdown. Weingar in coverage, but George Stalley just reaches his hands up at the last moment. Another strike delivered. Touchdown pass, number 4 for Caleb Lounsbury. And all of a sudden, Lounsbury throwing his own party here and getting in the scoring column yet again. Second time, Stalley catches one. This time from 16 yards out, 33-6. Carter Templeton looking to add one more. Snap is good. Spot good. Hold good. And the kick is good with 2:59 to play in the third quarter. The Governors have blown it open now. They lead 34-6. And they'll kick when we come back after a 30-second step away. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
When you're thinking of a new or used car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV, think of us. We make all sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
When you're in the need for high-quality replacement auto parts, look no further than Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop in Pierre. Zander's has been servicing the Pierre area for over 40 years. Their professional parts techs can get you the part you need and get you back on the road. Stop by Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop at 500 West Sioux in Pierre or call 224-9221. Zander's, your source for domestic and foreign auto parts and accessories.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
At the 25, and the Governors will hog tie him and wrestle him down there. So Huron will come back out on offense, try to get some things done again. They haven't had good field position so far here in the second half. They'll get to the 26 to start this possession. 2:53 left, and the Tigers, who made a lot of great plays, especially defensively in the first half, haven't been able to do the same things here in the second half. They still go left to right. Anderson Porish split wide to the right. That is the near side and the short side of the field. Ball from the near hash mark. McNeil immediately rolling left. And this will be a flag as Kellen Hansen rides up the back side of the intended receiver, Colby Hofer. And Hansen did a lot of things well, but you could see the contact before the ball gets to the receiver. And the Governors are going to help the Tiger cause with 15 yards here. That'll move them out to the 41. And again, another penalty. This one's certainly not, this is an effort penalty rather than I don't know. Coaches probably think it's a mental mistake or something like that, but I just call that one a little, an aggressive play by Kellen Hansen. And you can do that when you're at 34-6. Here's Hulst on an inside handoff. Now a good play and a good run for Hulst as he'll make it to the line to gain on the far side. He gets up and signals first down. He reaches to the 50. That's a pickup of 11. Nope, that's a pickup of 9. Like the penalty yardage put them to the 40, and now they're at the 50. And Landon Holst showing the ability running the football, especially when he gets in open space. We've seen a lot of running backs with some early cuts tonight, and that's helping things out. Here's Leyendecker on the slot reception. Horish had slipped and fallen on the near side. Meanwhile, Leyendecker goes up the seam, and he'll pick up another 10 yards and a first down for the Tigers.
You go back to, go ahead.
Into Pierre territory.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Hansen's play that last time. I'm guessing even Thorson probably takes a look at that and maybe even asks him why he didn't just try to go pick that ball off either. Again, you've got help in the secondary to help you out a little bit, where that's one of those plays where it's maybe don't hesitate on that ball and go try to pick it off and take it back for 6 if you can.
So the Tigers venturing further from west to east, left to right. We're in the final 2 minutes of quarter number 3. Clap and the snap of the football. McNeil on the run again, and he'll have to dump it off out of bounds to the Governor bench. And now this case, it makes you wonder, as the pass doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage, which was the 40-yard line. I thought that ball was out of bounds shy of the 40. You know, and it again, rules change all the time. They may have changed rules for intentional grounding or something like that, but as it is, it'll stay 2nd and 10. McNeil obviously out of the tackle box there, but I think you still have to get it back to the line of scrimmage, or so one would think. Here it is, 2nd and 10. McNeil's going to dump it off. Backward lateral again. Holst has it. He tries to jump and leap away from the first contact. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage here. It's a play the Tigers have tried a couple of times here in the second half now, but to really no avail. And the spot puts it at the 41, so this is a loss of a yard. Lincoln Schoenhardt blew that play up with some good closing speed out on the far side, open flat.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't tried to even come with a little middle screen or something, which as much as, you know, we're crashing so hard and getting into him, and must not have one in the playbook, but I'm assuming most schools do.
3rd and 11, roll out to the right. McNeil still going backwards and has to throw it away again. Bucci giving chase. Babcock, who's limping a little bit, also running after him, and even Patrick LaRock out there. Patrick, a 220-pound senior, getting some playing time. We've got an injured Tiger downfield, and it is Logan Leyendecker, and now we're starting to see the cramps coming with a little more frequency here for players, especially from the Tigers side. We've got 50 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Quick injury timeout from Coca-Cola Bottling. Let's sneak a 30-second break in here. It's 20, make it 34-6. Governors on River 92.7.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
Building 34-6, the Governors lead. Huron has it 4th and 11 from the Pierre 41-yard line. Brian Oakland, John Calda, Caleb Brozick on camera, William Wilson in studio. Governor fans have gotten more of what they came for here in the second half, and on 4th and 11 up the hash mark, far side. Pass is broken up on another fine play by Kellen Hansen. Pass is intended for Sean Messmore, but it falls incomplete, and the Tigers will turn it over on downs. And before the Governors take over, we remind you, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football, your official home of the Governors.
Driven by the Office of Highway Safety, River 92.7, KGFX FM, and K296FI Pierre. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
A very productive 3rd quarter of play for the Governors. One defensive touchdown and some beautiful pass plays for a couple of scores. 21-0, the quarter scoring. Pierre leading now by 28. Bit of a bobble on the shotgun snap and the handoff exchange between Lounsbury and Trevor Rounds. Rounds gets back to the line of scrimmage. And even if I think he almost lost that ball at the end of the play, but Aiden Beam was there to help cover things up as well. They'll lose a half a yard, but we'll still call it 2nd and 10. For Trevor Rounds, and this may be the last play of the third quarter. In between the hash marks, Lounsbury throwing long again. Terwilliger overthrown this time. Step-for-step coverage by Messmore again. Sean Messmore has been called upon to really deliver in some dicey situations from a coverage standpoint, and he's played a heck of a game.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with their DBs tonight. They've done a phenomenal job. It's just, again, when you look at our weapons as wide receivers and tight ends right now, it's like, man, it's just some of the catches we made tonight. I don't know how we made them, but man, that concentration is phenomenal.
You see the spiral on that pass too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lounsbury throws a beautiful ball. Yep. It's going to be fun for the rest of the year to watch these guys get better and better. Over the middle this time, and Shufflebein led a little bit too far. Now that's over the top of Terwilliger at about the 42 of Huron, and then behind him another 5 or 6 yards. Shufflebein couldn't quite run it down, so the Governors are stopped on a 3-and-out this time. 1 run play and 2 pass plays that fall incomplete. 21 pass plays on the night for the Governors. 21 throws by Caleb Lounsbury. 3 receivers catching passes tonight. I had the Governors with 7 receivers catching balls a week ago. And this punt goes all the way down into the 5-yard line. Stalley unloaded it. It got away from the Huron defender, and boy, are they fortunate that this one trickles all the way to the goal line. The final play of the third quarter, the Tigers will have it on a touchback at their own 20, but on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, the Govs pile on, and they lead 34-6 at the end of 3. Scoreboard from Gales Gas Service in Pierre, 60 seconds. We go to the 4th next. You're listening to the Governors home opener on River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
The Fieldhouse in Pierre is your premier spot to watch all the sports, from your local Govs and Lady Govs, as well as Buffs and Lady Buffs, all the way up to your favorite big league teams. Kick back and relax with a pizza, nachos, burgers, or one of our air-fried appetizers. Wash down the food with your pick from our array of premium beverages. Between the action, be sure to check out the unique and plentiful memorabilia throughout the building. We can't wait for you to come in and watch the games with us broadcast on liveticket.tv. The Fieldhouse in Pierre.
At Ringneck Energy, their mission is to produce renewable energy that adds value to grain and livestock production, enhances the income of their investor partners, and provide a safe, rewarding work environment. Located at 901 Redwood Avenue in Oneida, South Dakota. Call 605-945-6900 or check ringneckenergy.com. A proud supporter of local schools and wishes all students the best of luck in all their activities during the school year, creating economic opportunities in our community.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
Did have the Governors leading 13-6, but a 21-point outburst in the third quarter for Pierre. They lead 34-6. Here we go to quarter number 4 after a 59-yard punt by George Stalley, but a 39-yard net to the touchback. It's 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. A handoff here to Landon Hulst, off of a low snap fielded by McNeil. Huron doing a good job in springing Hulst for a gain of 8+ up to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, even on a bobbled snap there, which is completely kills timing on most plays. We've seen that with our last drive and a little bobble snap there between Lounsbury and Rounds, but just able to gain some positive yards.
In fact, they'll give him 9, and it's 2nd and 1. Hulst with decent yardage tonight. Biggest run of the night was a 13-yarder. Here's another short hop snap. McNeil makes the play, but his knee is on the ground, and you got to give credit here to the white hat. That's the official, Darren Lorenz, who calls it knee down at that play, and that negates what would have been, as the play developed, a first down for Hulst. But again, take it back to the 25, and it'll be a loss of 4. McNeil, who has lost yardage with fumble plays and things like that, has kind of been a victim of some bad snaps. Governor's had some bad snaps early. That seems to be corrected. Here's Bucci batting down a pass as McNeil was ready to come out this way to Anderson Porish. It'll be 4th and 5. Coulter Babcock once again giving chase. 4th and 5. Not a real good spot for Huron to go for it here, even though they really would have nothing to lose, trailing by 4 scores. 10:39 to play. Huron, by the way, gets T area next week. I think the consensus preseason top 3 teams in the conference or in the classification, Yankton, Pierre, and T area to start the season. Those are the first 3 opponents for the Tigers on the year. Colby Hofer punts. George Sally will let it go, and it'll go all the way on the roll inside the Governor 30-yard line, and it'll be down there, I believe by number 68, Bryson North. And the Governors will have it 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line. So, yeah, tough way to start there for the Tigers on their schedule. Meanwhile, the Governors get another good opponent next week, and the Watertown Arrows here on their home turf. Watertown had a lead at halftime over Yankton, 20-13. From the 27, Lounsbury going to work. Throws behind Stalley on the slant, and ball that bounced upward a little bit. Almost gave Huron a chance to pick that one off, but it falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Governor's leading by plenty, but it is still early enough in the season where it's very important to try to get a little more rhythm in some of these pass plays. Now they'll go back to the ground. And Rounds has a good gainer here ahead of the 30, close to the 35. They'll spot him 34 for a pickup of 7. Sometimes when you set up next door to the assistant coach's box, you hear some noises and you just have no idea what's going on in there. 10 carries, 45 yards unofficially for Trevor Rounds, and now the clap to simulate the snap for Lounsbury, and the Tigers jump, and 5 yards to the advantage, we assume, will help the Governor cause, and that'll lead them to a 1st down up to the 39-yard line.
I don't know how many years I've called with you. What, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years?
At least 3, maybe 4. This is my 5th year now calling Governor football since Rod Fisher retired.
How many yards do you suppose we've gained out of that freeze play right there?
A couple of football fields worth, probably.
It is so amazing to me that works as well as it does.
9:46, Rounds with a big hole up the middle and a 1st down burst into Tiger territory across the 50-yard line. Spilled to the 48. That's Trevor Rounds' biggest carry of the season. 13 yards. You know, and when things are going well for running backs, JW, I mean, in Rounds in this case, the thing you love to see is when they've got full speed once they hit the line of scrimmage. And in the second half, we've seen that on multiple occasions from Trevor Rounds. Haven't really seen it throughout the first early part of the season yet until the second half began here.
Just no hesitation.
Quick fire out near side. Terwilliger, stiff arms, breaks a tackle. 30, 25. He cuts in front of Mason Juergens. And then finally is brought down with the help of Oakley Anderson. Charlie Martin running the length of the field. We'll call it the 23. That's a 25-yard catch and run for Cooper Terwilliger. But nope, there's a flag down back at the 50-yard line. And it's holding on the Governors. So wave off the 20-yarder or 25-yarder. And this is going to put Pierre back on their own side of the 50 at the 42. Penalty number 10 on the night for the Governors. Didn't catch who had the holding call. Doesn't really matter. Pierre will just have to try to pick up some more yards again. 9 minutes to go. At least they get an opportunity also to choose some more clock. It's 1st down and 20. Low snap, taken at the knees. Lounsbury delivers, but Scheffelbein wanted to move upfield against 2 defenders before hauling in the pass. Then it'll be 2nd down and 20. Lounsbury, who threw the football 32 times, if my memory is correct, last week. I've actually got him misfiring on 5 in a row in 8 of his last 9, which is hard to believe since a 16-yard touchdown to George Staley. There's Rounds. He spins out of it. Feet still churning and burning. The 10 yards lost on the penalty are wiped away. The Governors are back into Tiger territory. And it'll be 3rd down and about 9 as they'll spot him to the Tiger 47.
Yeah, that offensive line is clicking now.
Take that back. That 16-yard touchdown was the only completion in the last 9 attempts through the air for Lounsbury. 8:15 left now. It's 3rd down and 9. 11 yards on the ground there for Trevor Rounds. He's picked up 24 in his last 2 carries, 31 in his last 3. Deliver, pass, outside. This is Lincoln Dilgis, who fakes a move inside, then cuts back outside. Helps with a stiff arm. He's inside the Tiger 40 to the 35. And Lincoln Dilgis, who made a couple of nice plays last week, gets a big helper here, 12 yards and a move of the chains deeper into Tiger territory. There you go, another completion for Lounsbury. Far hash mark, 1st and 10. The Governors continue on the move, and they continue to chew clock here in the 4th quarter, leading 34-6. Jet sweep and a pitch to George Staley, coming in motion left to right. He'll cut up the middle of the field, gain 4 to the 31. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but said that last week there were 7 Governors who caught passes. Tonight, only 4, but at least now you get other people like Dilgis who have made plays so far this season, and that was a big one a moment ago.
Yeah, we may see a couple more here, but again, going back to Steele's play calling right now, it's just been a really good, nice tempo. You know, again, line's doing what they're doing. Quarterback's getting plenty of time.
2nd and 6, wide open near side. Ball is caught. It's Aiden Beam. Touchdown. The Tigers lost track of Beam, who is kind of listed as a hybrid player, and he can do a whole lot of things. The 175-pound junior is in for a 31-yard touchdown. Caleb Lounsbury now has thrown for 5 scores here in the Governor home opener. No flags on the field. It's 40-6 and a chance for one more. Another great play call, and Aiden Beam, if you're the Tigers, probably not the first guy you think that ball is going to. So there again, you make reference to Steve Steele's play calling. He is the head coach, but he's also the offensive coordinator. Templeton's PAT is good. The Governors lead 41-6. We've got 6:58 to play. We'll take a 30-second break, and we're back with the Governor Kick when we return with more Governor football.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
Titan Machinery is actively hiring service technicians to our Case IH team in Highmore, Miller, and Pierre. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make upwards of 6 figures. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single health care, and a generous tool allowance. For more information, log into titanmachinery.com/careers or contact Titan Machinery, your Case IH dealer at 701-356-0130.
Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
Off of our 4th quarter clock, a beautiful pass again from Caleb Lounsbury, this time hooking up with Aiden Beam for the first time, 31 yards out, and Beam was wide open at about the 15-yard line. He walks it in the rest of the way. Carter Templeton now 6 out of 7 for PATs. It's 41-6. Governors, Templeton, high end over end kick. This will be taken at about the 14-yard line. Bubba Peterson crossed the 20, but nowhere to go. The Governor special teams covering their ground yet again. Well, let's just say it again. Governor fans here in the second half have got to be breathing some sort of a sigh of relief But I think the message is this is more like it if you're a Governor fan. And by the way, clock running continually now with a 35-point Governor lead.
Yeah, there's gonna be some lumps. I mean, little bruises going along the way. I mean, again, when you kind of even looks like going back to the scorers. I mean, this may be one of the years to where there may be 4 or 5 actual teams that could, possibly early in the season that could actually contend for a title this year. The way it's looking, but obviously it's early. Who's to know what's going to happen? But
first down option pitch, Hulse is upended.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying again. I mean, I think we're going to see some pretty evenly talented teams all the way out.
Drive starts on the 24-yard line. This will be a loss of a handful for the Tigers. Back to the 19. We'll see about Governor defenders. People still need to get in game shape, so we really see all starters out there for the most part for the Govs. One exception, maybe Jacob O'Neill, a senior 165-pounder out there at a middle linebacker. McNeil, handoff, Hulse again on second and 15, and they'll lose more yardage. There's Mickelson and company, and there is Jacob O'Neill coming in to make a stop. Nice play by the reserve linebacker, getting an opportunity here. Back to the line of scrimmage they get. 3rd and 15.
Yeah, Jacob had a good run pass read there, just kind of wide open hole in that A gap, and he was able to fill that, get to the backfield pretty quickly, and made a good tackle.
Just under 7 minutes to play after that last touchdown by the Governors. Now, again, it's a 35-point lead, so our clock runs continuously. No stoppages of play no stoppages of the clock for first downs or out-of-bounds plays or incomplete passes. There's McNeil to the near side. Nice catch, Anderson Porish, and he is out of bounds up ahead of the 40-yard line. Call it the 42. Boy, he went low to the knees and caught that perfectly with the hands play. And McNeil delivered it right where it had to be for a 23-yard pickup. First down gain. And again, this one goes out of bounds. It picks up a first down. A couple of reasons you might stop the clock, but not when you've got a 35-point difference on the scoreboard in the second half. We're down approaching the 4-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Hulse again. 3 Governors will wrestle him down. Mikkonen is there. That's Hudson Schaefer making the first contact and getting the finish as well. And another stop of a gain of nothing for a Huron ball carrier. Hulse is going to check out. Bubba Peterson coming back on. Now, it was a struggle in the first half, but we talked about last week's win with Coach Steele, a win over Aberdeen. The defense was a constant, and I felt that the Governor defense had that game in control. Even in the first half, you still kind of felt that the Governor defense was controlling this contest, even though it was anybody's ball game. There's another interception for Coulter Babcock. 45, advancing to the 20, 15 to the 10, finally brought down. Pick number 3 on the young season for Coulter Babcock. And he just reached back, got his hands in the middle of the route, and McNeil is picked off for the 3rd time as Babcock just sees the field so well from the middle linebacker position. That was a quick fire, but very quick hands by Babs. And he's got the Governors in position down to the 10-yard line.
Hard to believe anybody could lose him in the backfield for how big and tall he is as a backer. It's just like he's got to be somebody that quarterback should be able to see, but, man, he just reads it well, like you said.
First and goal for the Govs. Lounsbury hands off to Rounds. And Trevor, a good surge to the 5-yard line. Babcock, who picked off 2 passes a week ago. Governors may try to get one more score here, but they can run the clock out essentially. We've got 2:14 counting down. This is Porter Hunsley in at quarterback, so he will run one himself from 5 yards out, and he's tackled at the goal line by Oakley Anderson, but falling in across for 6. And Porter Hunsley, the freshman, the future of the Governor quarterback position, in mop-up duty. It was Rounds for 5 and then Porter Hunsley for 5 to finish it off. And the Governors put the final nail in the coffin here. 47-6 with 2:01 to play. Carter Templeton has it up and good. Quick drive once again. A Coulter Babcock interception puts the Governors at the 10-yard line. 2 plays later, the youngster Porter Hunsley runs it in from 5 yards out, and the Governors now lead 48-6 with 2:01 to play. Let's keep it here. And one thing I want to ask you about John Calda here, Porter Hunsley, freshman quarterback. And if people don't know it yet, we're not sure where this team is going to end up this year, but there's a lot of things being said about the freshman and the sophomore classes for the Governors. And if people aren't aware of that, this Governor dynasty isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
No. If you go back to Porter, I mean, he's just a phenomenal athlete. And I had the pleasure of coaching him in middle school wrestling as a 7th and 8th grader. And he's just one of those kids where he is a sponge. He learns. He wants to learn. He wants to get better, and just his ability to make, any adjustment that you want him to make, he'll do it. And again, it's going to be kind of fun watching what he's going to, do this year as that corner position, but also get an opportunity to play a little bit of quarterback like we've seen tonight, right? But again, I think there's some good things coming up. Obviously, not throw this year out the window, obviously, but just we got many years ahead of us yet. Governor football will be there.
Templeton will kick off, and Huron will take it on a short hop. Peterson at the 12-yard line goes right side, outside the hash mark, but now outside the numbers. And there is Porter Hunsley wrestling him down. Looks like he coached him well on the wrestling mat there. He finishes the play. Tigers will have it for one final possession here at the 22-yard line. Now, Hunsley, I saw him in pregame warm-ups. He throws the football with the left hand and really throws a really nice pass. Lounsbury, we've seen throwing the football extremely well, especially in the second half tonight. And again, buckle up, Governor fans, or buckle up, Governor haters. It's
either way.
It's not about to end. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. And they may have a new quarterback in here as well. We'll get you names and numbers as we can. Landon Hulst running the football and still running well. Some starters still in there for the Governors. That was Anderson Porish taking the snap. Wide receiver who's caught 6 passes tonight. Hulst, meanwhile, advances 9 yards up to the 31-yard line, his 15th carry of the night. All the stats and the recap coming up in the postgame. Family Dental postgame is less than a minute away. We'll get a conversation with Coach Steve Steele. It'll be an interesting conversation talking about how the first half went tonight, but it certainly has been all Governors here in the second half. Portis will take another snap. They give him a first down, a 10-yard gain for Hulst, but this time the Huron ball carrier is pushed backward. And who had that one? Hulst again, but a loss of 2 on the play. Clock running continually. There probably will not be another snap of the football, so we'll register this one and put it in the books as the Governors score 35 unanswered points in the second half, and they run away from the Huron Tigers. Your final score on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard on their home opener, the Governors 48 and the Tigers 6. Governors advance to 2-0 on the season. Huron, with a hard-fought loss, falls to 0-2. And they can take some positives out of this one as they brace for the T-Area Titans on their home opener next week. Scoreboard brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. And we will pause for 3 minutes and hit the postgame. Your Family Dental postgame is on the way. And again, a conversation with a winning head coach, a recap with John Calda up here, stats, scores, big plays of the game, and your player of the game, all a part of your Family Dental postgame, which begins in 3 minutes. A 48-6 win for the 7-time defending state AA champion Pierre Governors tonight at Hollister Field. Back at 3 minutes, this is Governor Football and your official home of the Govs, River 92.7 and DRGnews.com.
The team at Family Dental in Pierre and Gettysburg are devoted to spending time with each patient to answer all questions and address any concerns that arise. Family Dental wants all their current and future patients to feel welcome and comfortable and to have the healthiest, best-looking smile possible. They can take care of all your family's dental needs with cleanings, checkups, same-day crowns, and many other dental services. Family Dental in Pierre and Gettysburg, caring for all your family's dental needs. Call Family Dental at 224-7774 today.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app from the App Store or Google Play. It takes only a moment, so you'll have it to replay this game. See live and archive video of all games, and when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota High School sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play.
Thank you. For 55 years, Beck Motor Company is celebrating our 55th anniversary, and it's all thanks to you, our incredible customers. Join us on September 12th from 4:30 to 9 p.m. for a special event filled with delicious food, percussion drumline, face painting, live music from KC Hughes, also Homestretch Band, Bounce House for the kids, and Street Master Car Club on display. It's our way of saying thanks for your support and loyalty. Come be a part of the festivities at Beck Motor Company and help us celebrate 55 years of serving you.
Dakota Storm Roofing is a locally owned roofing company in Pierre, specializing in both residential and commercial roofing services. They can handle your asphalt shingle, metal roofing, and flat roof needs. New construction, plus all types of roof repairs. They can handle the finishing touches, adding fascia, soffit, and gutters too. No job is too big or too small. For a free estimate, call Dakota Storm Roofing at 280-9794. Go to dakotastormroofing.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram.
Superior Concrete is proud to sponsor the Governors this season and just as proud to offer the finest concrete solutions available for commercial and residential applications, as well as foundation and flat work. The bottom line, if you need anything done with concrete, we can do it. Superior Concrete. Give us a call today for an estimate or more information. That's Superior Concrete. Find us on Facebook or call the office at 605-494-0102. That's 494-0102. Call today.
Well, the Governors and their fans will head home happy and at long last. It took a while, but Governor fans were treated to the kind of offensive explosion in the end that they were expecting when they came here. Huron played a great ball game, especially in the first half, but the heavy underdogs, I think, maybe wore out of gas a little bit in that second half. A smaller defensive line against the Governor Bigs on the offensive side. And maybe, you saw the quarterback, Colton McNeil, under duress for much of the night. The Governor defenders were coming after him all evening long as well. The Tigers make plays on both sides of the football, but the Governors just made more, especially in the second half. The passing game got going, and Caleb Lounsbury with 5 touchdown passes tonight. We'll give you the full recap, but Pierre wins it 48-6. And for John Calda to kind of recap this one once again, that first half, you couldn't help but be impressed with the way that Huron was playing. Big underdogs. They had a lot of fire coming in, and that can carry you a long way. But then again, it can only carry you so far, I suppose, once fatigue starts setting in, and once you get to good teams like the Govs and that coaching staff to make the necessary adjustments to turn this game, in this case, in the Governor's favor.
Yeah, hats off to them. I mean, again, I thought they had a pretty good game plan on that first half, and we're kind of catching us on our heels a little bit in some situations, and we're able to make some big plays. And and then obviously second half, I think that interception right off the bat, and like I said, fatigue starting to set in a little bit, and I think that just took the momentum, right out of them.
And eventually, and when you're at 13-6, all things are going well, but then you start the second half with a pick 6 from Cooper Terwilliger, and if you're the Tigers, suddenly now it's 20-6. You're okay. But then 27-6, and now you've got to start pressing. And I think when you press on an offensive side, I'm just assuming you start to lose creativity in your offensive play calling, and you just have to try to stick with what you feel is going to work out. But that makes it easier for the defense to continue to adjust, maybe to key in on some things. I think that's where it gets real difficult as an offensive team, especially as an underdog, as Huron was. The Governors obviously saw some things that maybe they weren't ready for, but they didn't see anything they haven't seen before tonight.
Yeah, creativity is probably the right word, because I think you just become predictable when you are put in those situations where you've got a short amount of time to score 2 or 3 touchdowns. So definitely is a little bit more predictable.
Coach Steve Steele is coming up here behind you. We'll get our post-game conversation here in our Family Dental post-game. We'll thank Coach John Calda for helping us out tonight. Stand by if you want to, but Coach Steve Steele will gear up. Once again, a 48-6 win for the Governors, who start out at 2-0. Coach Steele's got cookies up here. What do we got?
Yeah, that was a good surprise after the game. Thank you, Mrs. Rinke.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, this game, it's your home opener. And I think, first of all, I'm going to go to your quarterback. And the way the first half was going, it was very interesting, to say the least. You're coming in as a heavy favorite against a big underdog. Huron got some people back tonight, and they were fired up. They played outstanding in this first half. But from a throwing standpoint, did Caleb Lounsbury feel a little bit of jittery here on his first start on the home field? Because that's certainly kind of what it looked like at times.
Yeah, I don't think he was alone. I think I think a lot of the guys felt a lot of pressure that half. I think as it went on, especially, and then just how we had 5 exchanges that were problems. We had a couple drives end on penalties and a couple drops. So I just think there was a lot of tightness there, and I think that was kind of the big message on that side of the ball at halftime was, guys, just come out and play. Stop thinking. Stop feeling uptight and feeling pressured, and just go be yourself. And I think that's what you saw in the second half.
The longer you let an underdog team hang around, the more excited they get. They're making plays. Granted, you get two big plays at the end of the first quarter. This first play of the second quarter, suddenly you're on the board. You're starting to sink in, but they're still making plays. They get that touchdown as well, and the message in a 13-6 halftime lead, other than just settle down. What else were you talking about at halftime?
Not a whole lot. Again, the defense was fantastic again. Tremendous game from that side of the ball. Special teams, I thought, was much improved. Other than that first PAT snap was a little discombobulated, but so I think those two sides felt really good at halftime, and the message was just stay the course. I think that the main message of offense again was just relax. Relax. It's a football game. You've all earned the position that you're in. Just go out and play and have fun.
And the defense comes up with 3 takeaways, 3 more interceptions, and it all starts with the pressure that you're getting on the quarterback, McNeil, who's a very experienced quarterback. But even in the last few years, especially when we've seen him, he throws a lot off of his back foot, unfortunately, and that kind of gives an advantage to the defense.
Yeah, and they did a great job attacking all night long. And I thought our DBs were fantastic. They didn't really let anything behind them. We gave up a couple short ones and rallied, which was fine. They did a good job bending, not breaking at times. But they definitely came up and made the big play when they needed it.
In the second half, then, of course, the ice is broken when Cooper Terwilliger gets the pick 6. How did he read that play? That pass kind of came right to him, but he was able to cut in front of it. And, he's 6'5". He's 225. This kid is fast. He kind of runs like an ostrich, doesn't he?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a compliment or not for him. I guess I'll have to ask him. But yeah, it wasn't slow, and really good play. He's just a really dedicated student of the game, and he's been really, really doing a great job learning both sides of the ball. That's a tough ask for anyone, more or less a sophomore, but he's done a phenomenal job making sure that he's ready to go mentally on both sides of the ball, and it just made a great break on it and then took it all the way.
All right. And then Lounsbury kind of gets comfortable too. And tonight we saw eventually what your junior quarterback is capable of. Some of the passes he's making, he's dropping dimes into Twiggy. He's getting him to Shufflebine, and Shufflebine with some great catches on the other end. It's just a lot of fun to watch that offense in the second half.
Yeah, I just think that's the number one thing. You said it. If we can get him comfortable back there, you can really see the capabilities that we have. And I think that was kind of the message there at the end to the offense again was, that's what we can be We just have to be it, and we're only going to be it if you guys just play free and have fun. We can't worry and stress out too much. We just got to go play, and it's just a lot of fun when they do that.
This was something I wanted to ask you about pregame. I even forgot about it last week, but the progression of, I think the reads that Caleb's going through. Last week he threw to 7 different receivers. Tonight 4, or maybe 5 as it turns out. But, he's got options and he knows it. And he seems to have a real good idea of where they all are.
Yeah, I mean, he's done such a phenomenal job growing, really from the end of last season. He wanted this job and he set out and really worked hard all spring and all summer to learn. The talent, he's there. The talent's there and it's always been there. But he really, really worked hard to learn the system and to learn what it takes to be a quarterback and to go through those things. And you're really seeing the fruits of that labor. He's doing really, really well.
All right. Next week is the Watertown Arrows, a team that I guess I didn't look at an updated score, but they were leading Yankton at halftime. The top tier of 11 AA is quite muddled right now, but there's a definite group, and add T area back in there. They crushed Aberdeen tonight, but Watertown and Pierre is going to be a great game next week.
It will be, and they're a big team, and they're mojos to be able to run the ball, and it'll be a battle, but that's what we like.
I think a lot of the star power for them is right now on the line. The guys, the big guys that are leading the way. So you've got big guys, they've got big guys. Obviously, everything is won in the trenches anyway. What's it going to take to win that battle?
Yeah, we're not going to be able to start slow. That's it's the big thing that we're going to have to fix offensively is we can't afford to start slow. And, I said defensively, they really they have to do more of the same. They've been doing fantastic and, forcing 3 turnovers again tonight through the air. If we can end the game with a positive 3 turnover margin, more than likely we're going to win the football game. So if we can not make those mistakes and just get going a little bit earlier offensively, we'll see what happens.
Last question tonight has to do with the running game. And finally, we are starting to see Trevor Rounds run, I think, with more of a purpose in that second half. And granted, Huron's defenders probably wearing down a little bit because you're more physical than they are. But you see Trevor hitting the holes with a full head of steam. And that's what you're going to need also to kind of loosen up the passing game next week against Watertown.
Yeah, and I think that was another focal point in the first half. We didn't have any running game in the first half. And, that the waterfall effect of that is then it really allows people to cover because you can't run the ball. Mm-hmm. So even when you can have a few of those big runs scattered in there, that really loosens it up and makes it easier to throw.
And last year, Watertown was pretty susceptible to the pass. You see the same kind of opportunities coming in to that one. It's early to ask that
we'll have to see. That Lincoln kind of did a little bit of everything, but we'll see what Yankton did.
All right. So another great effort in the end, and sending the fans home happy, Coach.
Thanks.
Great job. 48-6, the Govs defeat Huron tonight. Coach Steve Steele, thanks for his time. And coming up in our Family Dental post game, let's take a 3-minute break. We'll come back, stats and more on the way. Of course, big plays of the game and your player of the game when we return with more Pierre Governor football.
Do you love watching high school sports but find yourself wanting to be more involved? Live Ticket TV has the solution for you. They're looking for production managers to assist for this school year. Duties include the management of equipment as well as a basic technological understanding. But don't stress, paid training will be provided. Part-time wages starting at $20 an hour. Call 833-605-LIVE, extension 3. That's 833-605-5483, extension 3, and punch your ticket to joining one of the fastest growing companies in South Dakota.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building, the garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors can give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
This is Coach Scott Nye from your Pierre Governors and the team at Ranky Gray Wealth Management, where we focus on coaching something just as important, your finances. Everyone needs guidance through life's key financial decisions and challenges, not to mention the opportunity to feel confident that their retirement strategy will help them pursue the lifestyle they've dreamed about. As you're looking for the right team to assist you, we're right up the street and ready to provide you the help that can make all the difference. Contact our Pierre office today by visiting rankygray.com.
If you want a job where your work matters, you belong at Avera. Here, we've invested in our workforce because every Avera team member drives our health ministry forward, making a difference in lives and communities every day. We offer competitive pay, great health insurance, and even career opportunities. We're putting people first, including you. Search for local job openings and apply at avera.org/careers.
Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre is here for you. When you're looking for a new vehicle, they make it easy. And all available vehicle information so you can spend less time researching and more time enjoying your purchase. Shop their extensive inventory from home at CapitalCityFordToyota.com or stop in to Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota at 518 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Count on them for your service needs with convenient scheduling and in-stock parts. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre, 605-224-7378.
We're back at ringside, rather back at Phil Troutner Stadium in Hollister Field as the Governors polish off the Huron Tigers 48-6 tonight. Again, it was 13-6 at halftime. No scoring until the second quarter. The first play kind of kicked things off, or the last play of the first quarter finally got the Governors going. A great pass from Caleb Lounsbury, an even better better job on the receiving end by Cooper Terwilliger for a long pass play that got the Governors to the 20, and that's where the second quarter began. And on the first play, the new quarterback for the Governors, who really kind of made his real arrival tonight, hitting with that was Caleb Lounsbury hitting George Stalley from 20 yards out. The low snap failed the kick attempt. The Governors were staked to a 6-0 lead after 6 seconds gone by in the second quarter. Then 2 plays later on the ensuing Huron possession, Kellen Hansen picks off a pass, takes it to the Huron 30. 2 plays later again, after a 5-yard penalty, it was Lounsbury with another pretty pass to Carter Shufflebein from 35 yards out. Templeton makes the PAT this time, and it's 13-0 at the 10:26 mark. But then Huron responds with a beautiful 10-play drive, 69 yards, 438, and Colton McNeil hooked up with Riley Weingar on a floating 4-yard pass to the goal line, caught for a touchdown, but the kick failed for the Tigers. And it was 13-6. And as the Governors had that opportunity, one thing you don't see Pierre offenses do very often is fail in the 2-minute drill. Now, they started with 5.5 minutes, but it got down to crunch time in the red zone. In fact, inside the 5-yard line in the final minute of the first half. And Pierre was held out of the end zone on a few running plays from the 2-yard line. George Stalley on an option pitch was swallowed up on a play that he scored in Aberdeen at the end of the first half last week. But the 13-6 lead is all Pierre could settle for. As they went to the halftime break, Huron ran the clock out from there. The Tigers got the ball to start the second half, but the third play in the second half, it was Cooper Terwilliger picking that 43-yard pass off, taking it the distance for a pick six, and the Templeton PAT makes it 20-6, and the Governors were just getting started. They hold Huron to a 3-and-out, and then they get the ball from their own 13-yard line, go 6 plays, 83 yards, and just an absolutely beautiful pass play from Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebein, 32 yards out. And on the way, he had a 34-yard play that was just another gorgeous pitch and catch. Those two, Lounsbury and Shufflebein, teaming up, the junior to the sophomore, and that's going to be a dangerous combination for the rest of this season. But the one from 32 yards out, Shufflebein's second touchdown of the night, makes it 27-6 with 7:25 left. And then after another punt forced by the Tigers, forced by the Governors of the Tigers, the Govs get it back. It was a bad shotgun snap that sent the Tiger play all the way down to their own 7-yard line. And then they had a short punt that the Governors rushed a little bit. and Pierre had it at the Huron 19-yard line. It did take him 6 plays, but ultimately Lounsbury finds George Stalley at the goal line from 16 yards out. Stalley's second touchdown of the night made it 34-6 with just under 3 minutes to go in the third. The Governors stalled a Huron drive on downs at near midfield, but 3 plays and the Govs couldn't move it anywhere. We're into the fourth quarter now. Huron goes 3 and out, and the Governors scored their final touchdown with the starters in there, primarily an 8-play 73-yard drive taking 4.5 minutes off the fourth quarter clock. Lounsbury to Aiden Beam. His only catch of the night was good for a 31-yarder. Beam gets behind all of the defense, was wide open, had nobody within 10 yards of him. He walks it in the last 15 yards on a 31-yard touchdown. And the Governors made it 41-6, that coming with just under 7 minutes left. And with that 35-point lead, the clock ran continually, 35-point mercy rule timing in effect. And on the ensuing Huron possession, Coulter Babcock intercepts a pass for the third time in the first 2 games of the year. He returns it to the Huron 10-yard line, a 5-yard run for Trevor Rounds, and then a 5-yard run for Porter Hunsley, the freshman quarterback, who may have to wait a couple of years to run this team, but he is the future. And he gets a 5-yard touchdown run to make it 48-6 after a Templeton PAT. Huron ran 1 more play, maybe 2 more plays, but this game came to an end with the Governors winning it 48-6. And again, 35-0. They outscore the Tigers in the second half after leading only 13-6 at intermission. Pierre 2-0. They've got Watertown here next weekend. The Tigers are 0-2. They'll have their home opener at Tiger Stadium next week, but they'll entertain the T area Titans. And the following week, T area has Sturgis. And we'll get you the scores from tonight a little bit later on. Here's the stats that the Governors will run up 317 yards of total offense, 90 of those on the ground, and Trevor Rounds ultimately running 13 times for 74 yards. And again, running with a purpose in that second half, as he looked like the back that the Governors are going to need throughout the season. And Trevor Rounds with a pretty good night tonight. George Stalley, 3 carries, 6 yards. Caleb Lounsbury, 7 carries for 5 yards. Porter Hunsley had the 1 carry for a 5-yard touchdown. That's 90 on the ground for Pierre. Lounsbury through the air unofficially 11 out of 25. Completion percentage wasn't that great, but certainly production on the completions to the tune of 233 yards and 5 touchdown passes tonight. He was sacked once for a loss of 6 yards, so 227 net yards through the air, and that is 317 with 90 on the ground. Receiving wise, George Stalley catches 4 passes tonight, and that'll be to the tune of 47 yards. Carter Schuffelbein, 3 catches, 2 touchdowns, and these are the yardages on his 3 catches. 35 for a score, 34 to set up a score, and 32 on the score that he actually had. That is a total of 101 yards on 3 catches for Carter Schuffelbein. Great night tonight. Cooper Terwilliger, 2 catches tonight for 33 yards. One of them did go for actually 2 catches for 32 yards. The first one was a big 31-yarder that set up. Of course, that was the last play of the first quarter. That set up the 20-yard touchdown on the very next play to start the second quarter. Lounsbury to Stalley. Aiden Beam with a 31-yard touchdown catch. Lincoln Dilgis with a 12-yard catch for a first down in the second half as well. Governors pick up 10 first downs along the way. They were penalized 10 times tonight for losses of 85 yards. But all in all, when it's 48-6, it was a pretty good night in the end for the Governors. As for the Huron Tigers on the ground, they'll pick up a total of 38 yards, and it's a little bit skewed. Landon Hulst ran well, 16 carries, 65 yards, had a couple of big runs along the way. Colton McNeil, though, and again, when a snap goes over a quarterback's head and he loses 22 yards, that kind of skews rushing totals. In fact, McNeil, 4, make it 5 touches, but for losses of 31 yards, depending on how you score that. Bubba Peterson, 1 carry. He did get the start tonight, but Landon Hulst, who was injured last week, got the bulk of the work. 1 carry, 4 yards for Jonathan Bubba Peterson. Meanwhile, McNeil through the air, 16 out of 35, will get 133 yards, had the one touchdown of 4 yards to Riley Weingart, but he was picked off 3 times by the Governors. Kellen Hansen with an interception, also Cooper Terwilliger with the pick 6, and Coulter Babcock with the last one as well. 1 sack of McNeil for a loss of 10 yards, so 123 net passing for the Tigers, along with 38 yards on the ground, 161 total yards for Huron. But at halftime, oddly enough, on my stat sheet, I had Huron outgaining the Governors 127 to 117. So Pierre with a very productive offensive second half of play. In pass catching, 6 catches for Anderson Porish for Huron tonight, 59 yards. Blake Elwine catches 3 for 45, had a 35-yarder and a big play in the first quarter for the Tigers. Logan Leyendecker, 2 catches, 17 yards. Mason Juergens, 3 catches for 17 yards. Riley Weingart had the 1 catch for a 4-yard score. Landon Hulse caught 1 ball but lost 8 yards on that particular play. 10 first downs for the Tigers, 7 penalties for 44 yards marked against them, but the big number, 3 interceptions thrown by Colton McNeil, 3 pickoffs taken away by great plays from Pierre Governor defenders, and it's all adding up to a 48-6 win for the Governors. That's their home opener. They've got another one coming up, the first of 5, in fact, home games in the regular season for your Pierre Governors, and the Governor fans are happy tonight with a 48-6 victory. There are big plays along the way to make it all happen. Our big plays in our postgame are brought to you by Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre. Let's hear from them. We'll come back with big plays next. This is Governor Football.
At Hermanson Endodontics, Dr. Brian Hermanson serves Central South Dakota with specialty root canal treatment. Hermanson Endodontics strives to provide treatment that's not only comfortable, but also provides the best possible outcome. They do this by effective and timely communication with your dentist and preserving as much healthy tooth as possible using state-of-the-art 3-dimensional imaging and the dental operating microscope to guide diagnosis and treatment. Ask your dentist if a root canal specialist is right for you. Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre.
Hermanson Endodontics with big plays of the game. We've got a couple of them to talk about, but through the first quarter, I think Governor fans coming in here, and, there's an old NFL highlight on NFL Films. It was, I believe it was the great Vince Lombardi who was just screaming at his team, and if you'll pardon the language, you'll remember the highlight when he said, "What the hell's going on out here?" And I think that's kind of what Governor fans might have been wondering, in the ineptitude of the offense to get anything going in that first quarter of play. But on the final play of the first quarter, Caleb Lounsbury comes to the near side, and Cooper Terwilliger just makes an outstanding play. He gets the grab for 31 yards. That set up the Governors at their 20-yard line, and the first play of the second quarter, was the touchdown to Stalley from 20 yards out. That got the Governors going, and it was that 31-yard catch by Cooper Terwilliger that was, to me, the first big play in the game. The Governors scored 2 touchdowns in a row after that into the second quarter. Of course, Huron was still making plays, but it wasn't until the third play of the third quarter when the Governors really got settled down, and it was that pick 6 by Cooper Terwilliger. 43 yards out, he took it to the house. That made it 20-6. The Govs scored beautiful passing plays on their next 2 possessions to go up 34-6, couple more touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But the Governors really settled in because of that pick 6. So Cooper Terwilliger really making 2 of the biggest plays tonight. And I was thinking Terwilliger, 2 catches offensively tonight, only 2. He had 10 last week, but he had 32 yards of offense, but he did catch 1 for a touchdown, and that happened to be the defensive play of the game. Big plays of the game brought to you by Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre. We certainly have candidates when we look at players of the game in this one as well, and of course we'll go with the offensive or the home team side of things in this one, and the winning side. The player of the game is brought to you by Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Let's hear from them. We'll make it official. Your POG is next in Governor Football.
Howdy, partners. Did you know that you can save up to 30 cents on a gallon of gas instantly when you use the Sinclair DinoPay app at all Cowboy Country Store locations? It's true, and it's fast, secure, and simple to use. Just go to your app store and download the green DinoPay app, follow the prompts, and save big money at the pump today.
Convenience from the country, Cowboy Country Stores.
Player of the game from Cowboy Country Stores, Pierre and Fort Pierre. And defensively, hey, let's give it to Coulter Babcock once again, to pat on the back. He was our player of the game with a couple of picks and a sack last week that led to the Governors to victory. Defense played great once again tonight, and there are a number of guys that I think defensively played well. You look at the defensive backfield that was put into extra work because Huron, a lot of times they're a throwing offense. And yes, a lot of times they have to throw the football. But in cases where they're trying to pick up yardage, granted, the smaller offensive line, they've got to get some quick passes out. And that forces your defensive backfield into extra duty. Carson Stoser playing well. Give it to Kellen Hansen for picking a pass off tonight that kind of ended a Huron threat as well. In fact, set the Governors up with a short field for their second touchdown of the night. So the defensive backfield plays very well tonight. Johnny Sharon getting the start of the nose tackle position, plugged some holes tonight, and the linebackers once again playing a great ball game. So the defense with a collective pat on the back tonight. Offensively, Carter Shufflebind giving fans a lot of things to look forward to. Of course, Cooper Terwilliger was as well. But Shufflebind, the way he can catch balls tonight, we saw it. He's got some good hands. If the ball's in his area, more often than not, the sophomore is going to haul it in. He did have one play. He was looking upfield against two defenders and missed it, but three beautiful grabs, all in the 30s for yardage ranges. So pat on the back to Carter Shufflebind tonight as well. But Caleb Lounsbury gave everybody a taste of what we have to look forward to for the next couple of seasons. The junior with 233 passing yards, but 5 touchdowns from 20, 35, 32, 16, and 31 yards. Every one of them is, requires a pass to be on the money, and every one of them absolutely was. And the receivers are doing the job. 2 touchdowns from George Staley, 2 from Shufflebind, and the last one to Aiden Beam. Caleb Lounsbury is your player of the game from the quarterback spot, and the 170-pound junior will get a T-shirt noting his accomplishments as he leads the Governors to win in their first home game of the season. 48-6 over the Huron Tigers, and Caleb Lounsbury, your Cowboy Country Stores player of the game. To set things up before we let you go, let's run down the scores in Class 11 AA tonight. T-Area with the first final of the night. They bounced back off of a loss at Spearfish last week, and they manhandled Aberdeen Central tonight 39-7. That Central team that the Governors played a tight game against last week. Sturgis shuts out Douglas out west 42-0. Brookings over Mitchell 34-0. So Brookings, who beat Sturgis last week, and Mitchell tonight, they have outscored their 2 opponents 65-0 so far on the season. And maybe the game of most interest tonight, it was Watertown defeating Yankton 27-13. The Governors' next opponent is the Watertown Arrows, and after they lose at Jefferson in week 1, they come back with a vengeance on their home opener, and they defeat that Yankton team that drubbed Huron a week ago as well. So Watertown's got some momentum coming in here to Hollister Field next weekend. That's going to be a fun one. But Watertown with a big win in the early season to shake up the 11 AA standings tonight. Brandon Valley and 11 AAA beat Rapid City Stevens 41-7. Sioux Falls Lincoln tops O'Gorman 36-19. Jefferson, no problem with Roosevelt 41-7. And out west, Rapid City Central is leading Spearfish 22-13. That's late in the third quarter. That Spearfish team that had a great opening game victory last week, struggling with a team that certainly has their struggles over the last number of seasons, Rapid City Central, but the Cobblers playing with a lead right now. One other score we'll pass along, our KGFX score tonight. Stanley County up at Leola Frederick, but the Titans win that one 40-8. It was 12-8 when we first checked on it back in the first half, but Leola Frederick runs away with that when the Buffaloes fall to 0-3. So up next here for the Governors, let's run down other Governor action. Volleyball got a win at Douglas last night. They're 2-2 now. They'll be next in play on Tuesday night back at home at Riggs High Gym. They'll host the Mitchell Colonels, and then next weekend at Sturgis on Friday. No call on that one, but they will be at Spearfish, and we'll have the call on that one next Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock Mountain. Governor Volleyball coming up on Tuesday and Saturday here on River 92.7. Cross-country team was running a big meet at Augustana today, and we'll continue to wish good luck to them the rest of the way. Competitive cheer and dance have a big event tomorrow, 11 o'clock. They host their own Pierre Invitational, so get out and see some competitive cheer and dance to support the teams for Governor Athletics there. The cheer and dance teams go to Huron then on September 17th in their next competition. Then Governor Golf goes to Yankton next Friday for their next play. They've been playing well lately. Tennis, it is the Pierre Quadrangular coming on Tuesday, and the soccer teams will be in action at Harrisburg on Thursday. And then they host Brandon Valley next Saturday, and there will be a benefit that is involved in that. Some medical expenses incurred by a young Governor girls soccer player. We invite everybody to the PILC soccer fields when the Governors host Brandon Valley next Saturday. Games that will be heard on River 92.7. I believe they're at 11 and 1 o'clock, but that is what's coming up in Governor soccer. We do have Vikings football on KPLO-FM, KMLO-FM as well. The season opens for the Vikings as they play the New York Giants in the Meadowlands, 11 o'clock pregame, 12 o'clock kick coming up. So that'll do it here. Reminder, Huron's got the Tigers have T-Area next Friday at home. Then they'll host Sturgis also in Huron. The Governors have Watertown next Friday, and then they go to Brookings 2 weeks from tonight. So a pretty good stretch of games coming up for the Governors, and you can, of course, hear them all right here. Your official home of the Governors, River 92.7, drgnews.com. Remember, you can rewatch this game with the help of Live Ticket, who's been doing live video streaming tonight. You can check that out on YouTube, or it'll be available when we sign off as well on the River 92.7 page of drgnews.com and the DRG News app. A safe travel home to all Huron fans heading east on Highway 14. Remember, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety celebrates being a part of a team, and they remind us that buckling up is the best way to save your life in a crash. So do it for your friends and family. You've got someplace to be. Hey, thanks to Caleb Brozick for running the video for Live Ticket tonight, and of course to good buddy John Calda on the call, helping us out tonight, for Coach Steve Steele coming up in the post game to talk about the 48-6 win, and for William Wilson, who has run the show in our River 92.7 studios. We thank you for joining us tonight as well. Our next coverage of Governor Sports will be tomorrow with Governor Soccer. Actually, I forgot to mention, it is Governor Soccer tomorrow when they host the Spearfish Spartans. Justin Coward back in town. He'll have the call on those at 11 and 1 o'clock tomorrow. Governor Volleyball on Tuesday, and then Governor Football next Friday when the Governors host the Watertown Arrows. Until we meet again, thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Oakland. Your final Gales Gas Service scoreboard has the Governors coming out on top over the Huron Tigers, 48-6. Have a great evening, everybody. Great weekend. This is a presentation, your official voice of Governor Football, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.